Live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center in Mooresville, North Carolina, this is the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series on the EKN Radio Network.
Welcome back here to GoPro Motorplex for the United States Pro Kart Series season finale. The first of 7 main events here to close out the 2021 championship season is set to get underway. On the front row, it is Danny Dzelski and Jake Walker. Your championship contenders coming into today were Jeremy Fletcher and Sebastian Weldon. They were tied. Chase Hand was 69 points back. However, after the pre-final has been run, it's just going to be really tight for Hand, even when it comes all down to it. And for Sebastian Weldon, he's going to have to beat Jeremy Fletcher. After Fletcher had a decent pre-final, Weldon rolls off 26th. We're green down to turn number 1. First main event's underway. Good start for the inside lane. They'll pick up a couple spots as Walker is going to slot in somewhere around 4th, it looks like, down the back straightaway. One driver getting shuffled way back down the order out of turn number 3. Trying to identify he's 3 wide on the outside. Going to get tucked in now. Might be Chase Hand, actually. That was the big loser there on the start. Up front, Dzelski is your leader. Aiden Rudolph is second. Austin Jurors is third. Jake Walker fourth. Elio Meza fifth. Braden Robertson 6th. Cooper Shipman is 7th. Jeremy Fletcher 8th. And they're side by side for 9th right now. Braden Nickel was on the inside. Has given it. Now trying to hang on. Tough. And they're all over the place. Spencer Conrad around the outside lane trying to make up some ground. Not going to do so. First lap completed. Dzelski, your leader, down to turn number 1. So they're still side by side all the way outside the top 10. The top 4 starting to break away. Dzelski, Rudolph, Jurors, and Walker, and they're going to go 2 abreast into the bowl. Aiden Rudolph takes the lead for the first time. Dzelski second. Walker gets to third. That'll give the opportunity for Braden Robertson to try and lead the next pack up. His big mistake there from Elio Meza. Dropped a tire in turn 6. Now trying to block from behind as we've got even more changing happening up front. Jake Walker to second. Dzelski back to third. Everybody shuffling here in the first few laps. It's important as a driver you make up as many spots as you can while the tires are cold, because when you don't know exactly when the pack split will happen, but at the same time the packs get split by passing. Or especially by botched passes. The passes up front now have connected the group slightly up for the top 10. So with Aiden Rudolph leading the way, Jake Walker going by for second, Braden Robertson getting a little bit of draft off of Austin Jurors. Now he'll get more as Dzelski does not want to push Walker. He goes back to P2, Walker back to P3. Perfectly playing into the hand of Jeremy Fletcher. Let's give you the update on Sebastian Weldon. He got cleaned out, spun in the pre-final. Got back going, drove back to the field from dead last to 26th. Right now, up a few spots, working on Oliver Cunningham and the Team FMS OTK. Not up a ton. In fact, he's still a good ways back. Needs to get up into the top 5 and beat Jeremy Fletcher by a number of positions to clinch the championship. As they come down the front straightaway here, the leader will still be Aiden Rudolph, but the pack is coming back together. Danny Dzelski and Jake Walker are on their way. As they get hooked up down the backstretch, they'll close that gap to nothing here. 3 drivers nose to tail. Austin Jurors close in 4th. Braden Robertson making some ground up now in 5th. He's well into this grouping. Cooper Shipman and Jeremy Fletcher next up. Then Elio Meza, who is on the verge of getting into the tow, on the verge of not being in it. Behind him, Braden Nickel, Chase Hand is next in line. As they work their way around behind Hand, then it's going to be, I believe, George Fagali in the 853 Cosmic. Up to the final corner. Here comes Dzelski, new leader. Danny Dzelski takes over the top spot. Aiden Rudolph drops to second. Yesterday's winner, Danny Dzelski, spent a lot of the race running 3rd to 5th as they go side by side for second. Jake Walker around the outside on Aiden Rudolph. Gets the spot done. Rudolph now defending from Austin Jurors. They make contact. Jurors goes wide. Jurors trying to hang on over Braden Robertson. He will. And they'll stack them up. 7 drivers deep in the lead pack. Danny Dzelski leads your field to the infield hairpin. Elio Meza trying to close up now to Cooper Shipman, who's been passed by Jeremy Fletcher. Fletcher up to 6th, again looking to snag one of 2 potential junior division titles today. Turn 11, inside on Braden Robertson. That's for 5th. He's clear. Robertson goes wide, going to lose another spot potentially as Meza tries to go as well. And he does, so Robertson down the order. Into turn number 4 once again. Danny Dzelski starting to elevate the pace of the pack here. Try and spread them back out once again as Jake Walker remains lined up P2. Aiden Rudolph P3, although they stacked up a little behind Dzelski in 6. Is Walker going to go in the hairpin? He will not. He'll stay in line. He's happy in 2nd for now. Again, monitoring the progress on Sebastian Weldon. He's making a pass here in turn 8. Up on Beckham Jasir. He's in the 2nd group, in the midfield. He can get about another 4 spots, but then it'll be a long way up to George Fagali for 11th. So Weldon at least into the top 15 now, or top 16. As we go back to the leaders, Dzelski has them lined up behind him. Jake Walker's probably going to need to go down the backstretch unless they're going to be patient, which is very hard to find in the junior classes. Rudolph wants to go. He's looking on Walker, can't do it. And they stay single file through the bowl. Rudolph now to the inside of Walker, turn 5. No, not going to get the job done there. Aiden Rudolph definitely wants to get by. He is a little bit impatient right now. Looking maybe turn 8. Will he dive bomb? He does. Inside on Walker. Fletcher the same on Jers. Rudolph successful. Fletcher is not. He'll drop in line. Actually nearly gets tagged from behind by Cooper Shipman. Shipman gets a little push there from Braden Robertson. And now Jake Walker falls to P3. Aiden Rudolph finally gets his wish, gets to 2nd. Starts to try and hunt down Dzelski to turn 1. As we go down the back straightaway here, 5 car lengths between the top 2 drivers. Dzelski, 3 karts now over Rudolph as Braden Robertson is sent in the weeds. He was around the outside of somebody. He's going to have marbles on the tires for probably about half a lap with how wide he was there in the bowl. And it was Chase Hand catching up to the end of that group. I don't know who exactly got to the inside of the 817 and forced him wide, but Robertson now fighting for grip, trying to hang on to the draft here at the end of the 8-kart lead pack. Braden Robertson, your fast qualifier here today, has been impressive, just getting used up a little bit here as you do in the first time you break into the lead pack. Down the front stretch, once again, Danny Dzelski, great exit from the final corner. And now they're going to pass again for 6th and 8th on the, or 5th and 7th on the racetrack. As Austin Jers gets shuffled back another position. Look at this battle now for the lead. Aiden Rudolph takes over the top spot. Jake Walker to 2nd. Dzelski 3rd. Fletcher cannot improve. He remains 4th. And Cooper Shipman on the move here in the main event. Up to P5. Austin Jers under fire again. Chase Hand looking inside. Gets by. Elio Meza is going to go side by side with Jers. He'll have to back out into 9. Gives the position back, and Jers hangs on to 7th. As Raiden Nickel has gone by for 9th on Braden Robertson. They're not terribly far back from the leaders. Side by side for 7th again. This time, Elio Meza completes the pass on Jers. Battle for the lead. Jake Walker went by on Dzelski, or went by on Rudolph, and 2 more went through. Dzelski got by, so did Fletcher. Jake Walker and the Mike Doty Racing Cosmic now commands the way. 6 drivers strong up front. If they fight again, it'll be more. Dzelski tried to fight the pass from Fletcher. Now they're 2 and 3 wide out of 4. 2 by 2 into turn 5. Jeremy Fletcher takes over 2nd. Dzelski falls to 5th. Maybe 6th as Chase Hand comes to the bumper. And it's Aiden Rudolph 3rd. Cooper Shipman 4th. Here comes Hand for P5. Chase Hand gets to the inside. Aiden Rudolph still fighting with Fletcher. Fletcher says, hey, man, do you not see the leader is starting to get away? Jake Walker's gap, 3 car lengths out of turn number 9, and it's a 10-driver lead pack once again. 10 laps in, 12 laps to go, a 22-lap final. They've been racing like it's the last lap every single lap, and it's really just one person to spark the trigger, because at that point, if everyone's passing, you have to drive the exact same way. They set the tone by how they race up front, and it trickles downward. Jeremy Fletcher, your new leader. Walker 2nd. Pass for 3rd as well. Cooper Shipman got by Aiden Rudolph. and Jeremy Fletcher now commands the train, trying to seal the deal for a junior championship here at the U.S. Pro Kart Series in KA100. He needs to have a good run. Oh, big contact. Multiple drivers. 5 drivers out of the 10 collected in turn 8. Danny Dzelski was going down the inside on Chase Hand. Spun him. Cooper Shipman's involved. Elio Meza's involved. Austin Jers. Braden Nickel. Multiple drivers all taken out in the hairpin. Sorry, Shipman not involved. Mainly Elio Meza. Shipman actually ended up okay. Aiden Rudolph lost a lot of time. Justin Music involved in the incident as well, as finally Elio Meza can get back going. But man, what a disappointment here for that young driver from Texas. He has had such a great season to this point. He is trying to get going and out of the way. The leaders will be coming here real soon. He'll just be pulling into the scale line. That's going to do it for Elio Meza. So now it's Jeremy Fletcher and Jake Walker. And man, these two, they had a bit of a party like that of their own yesterday in turn number 4, fighting for the lead. Fletcher tried to hang it around the outside and shut the door on Jake Walker one too many times. Walker didn't give him a break, and they wrecked. And it gave the win to Dzelski. Well, now Dzelski's on the opposite end. He's out. This is good news and bad news at the same time for Sebastian Weldon. The good news, he's about 5 more spots forward on the racetrack into the top 10. The bad news, Jeremy Fletcher was not collected. And now, with less drivers in the lead pack, you'll see less passing, which means they will go a little bit quicker because every pass made is a 3 to 5/10 loss in lap time, usually. So it's 3 drivers up front, with Aiden Rudolph having lost the draft. The same for Braden Robertson. It is Fletcher, Walker, Cooper Shipman, Rudolph P4, Robertson P5. P6 is George Fagali in the 853. Best run of his national career. Sebastian Weldon, P7. Davis Cunningham, the rookie, moving up to junior here for the first time here this weekend. P8 in the Crosslink Competition X3. Then it's Graham Tremmel, and then Adam Brickley. Again, that should tame the race down a little bit here for the remaining few laps we've got before we get to the final 5, because we were just getting to the halfway mark here, and it is hard to sustain that level of battling all the way through a main event, especially in some of the lesser experienced divisions like your 100cc classes and especially your junior classes as well. We look on now, 13 laps complete, 9 to go. It's a 2-second gap from Cooper Shipman back to Aiden Rudolph. I don't see that closing anytime soon, and I'm sure Jake Walker will just happily push on Jeremy Fletcher for the next 5 to 7 laps here, and then only fight him when they get that 2 to go signal. But I could be wrong. They might trade the lead a couple times. Whether they do or they don't is really just going to matter of whether or not Aiden Rudolph gets another shot to battle for the win and battle for a podium. But if they stay hooked up like this, Rudolph that time lost a couple hundredths, just a little bit of time. Robertson, even the pace of Fletcher as well. They're not pulling away, but they are not giving up time either. They're the top 3. Sebastian Weldon should be able to get to George Fagali, though. He is only about 7 or 8 tenths back from the driver in 6th, and he's had a heck of a drive here. Big credit to Sebastian Weldon for the drive forward and never say die attitude he's been putting together. P7, working on P6, closing in towards the hairpin. Might be able to get there in about a lap or so, maybe less. And that would then be a big gap to Braden Robertson, but even if he can just get up to 6th, from 28th on the grid, it looks like, Sebastian Weldon, that'll be very, very impressive. 8 laps make it 7 laps to go. Jeremy Fletcher dropping the pace now to a 50.6. Aiden Rudolph not able to match it that time. Neither is Braden Robertson. Six laps to go for Jeremy Fletcher, trying to end his season on a high. It's still not over. Again, right now, as they run with Weldon into 6th and about 3 seconds 3.5 seconds back from Braden Robertson, not really going a whole lot faster. This is roughly where they will lie without any wrecks or penalties. Jeremy Fletcher would win the championship by about 81 points. So Weldon again cheering for Jake Walker to not only get there and hopefully get to the lead, the same for Cooper Shipman, but, you know, without any ill will, hoping really some ill will on Jeremy Fletcher's season-ending race, because without any wrecks, without any DNFs, even if he finishes third, he will clinch the KA100 Junior Championship. Sebastian Weldon has had a great recovery drive. He's given everything he's got. It's been super impressive to watch here today. But Jeremy Fletcher, after being a little bit off through the pre-final, through qualifying, is looking just as strong as ever here out front with just a handful of laps to go. Jake Walker still on the tail. Headed through turn number 7. A lap, kart length between them. We'll come this time by to see 4 laps to go. Jeremy Fletcher, Jake Walker, Cooper Shipman. 1, 2, 3. It would be a first career race win in the works here for Jake Walker. It'd be the first USPKS podium to my knowledge as well. And a big-time improvement here from when we were at Road America for Jake Walker. It's been a steady improvement all season long under the Mike Doty Racing Camp. And if you compare his progress now and where he is at GoPro Motorplex here in October to where Jake Walker was to begin the Florida Winter Tour and SCUSA Winter Series seasons that were with SCUSA Winter Series being live on the EKN radio network, it is unreal how quickly that kid has made some major strides. And a big part of that, of course, goes to the Mike Doty Racing Camp, much to the likes, of course, of the Team Felon Camp that has trained Jeremy Fletcher for the majority of his career. You go back to, Cooper Shipman. He's been a contender in the mini ranks. He's been a contender that's been building here in junior under the tutelage of Charlie Swain and the Iron Rock Motorsports Camp. And they've had all their different drivers running really good today. From Oscar Iliff in mini, of course, Elio Meza has been super impressive, both back at the Miami Grand Nationals and here this weekend at the U.S. Pro Kart Series. It was such a bummer to see him taken out here just a few laps prior. But his teammate, of course, Cooper Shipman, trying to bring Texas flag high. And as they head towards turn number 4, still nose to tail, still no passing, but it's about to break open because they're going to get the signal this time by the flag stand that there are only 2 laps remaining. That's right, the double sticks will be coming out. Aiden Rudolph still 4th. Braden Robertson still 5th. Sebastian Weldon 6th. He's pulled away from the group behind him, which has changed up a little bit as Davis Cunningham. He's now in 7th with Adam Brickley moving up last time. In 8th, getting by George Fagali, who is also going to come under pressure from Graham Tremmel. So 2 to go. Jeremy Fletcher, final KA Junior main event of the season. As they go for turn number 1, no movement yet at all. Fletcher happily running the normal race line, not yet going to block. I'm sure he'll block down to turn number 4. That's a standard passing zone in the draft, and sure enough, Fletcher covers the bottom. Walker goes to the outside, opens up for Shipman, who can't fully get there. As they go through 5 and 6, Cooper Shipman closes up again. Great run to the infield for Cooper. Here comes Fletcher to the bottom again into 8. Walker goes to the outside. Can he cross him up? Oh, he pops off the front bumper. And that was a heavy impact there from Jake Walker. I guarantee that knocked in at least on one side. And now Cooper Shipman's trying to go around the outside on Fletcher. He's in the runoff. Fletcher's trying to keep him high. Into turn number 11, he will. Jake Walker just mistimed it. Hopefully that bumper isn't caved in too hard. Trying to tell if that thing got pushed in. I don't know if it did. It might be okay. Through turn number 1 here, Jeremy Fletcher a kart length up on Cooper Shipman. Can Cooper Shipman get up there and take the Iron Rock Motorsports Tony kart to victory lane? Down the back, he's got to run. He's on the inside. Jeremy Fletcher to the outside, sending it. Shipman's got help from Jake Walker. Cooper Shipman has gone to the lead. Into turns 5 and 6, Cooper Shipman has never won a U.S. Pro Kart Series main event in KA Junior. He's trying to block the potential champion. Fletcher finds a hole. Walker, they all come together. Jake Walker to the lead. Walker by 2 car lengths now, looking for his first career win. Cooper Shipman sends it deep for second. He's by. As long as the bumper is not in, the Mike Doty Racing crew, you won't be able to keep them off the fences. Jake Walker, you are a national winner. He takes it in KA Junior. Man, what a season, what a turnaround. Jake Walker he struggled to break into the top 20 in January of this year, and he ends his U.S. Pro Kart Series campaign on the top step of the podium. Cooper Shipman in second, and Jeremy Fletcher, you know what? He fought with everything he had, nearly got demolished in turn number 8. At the end of it, a third-place result will be enough to unofficially clinch the championship in KA100 Junior. It's the first of 2 class championships Jeremy Fletcher might be able to walk away from GoPro Motorplex with here today. Sebastian Weldon, you have to give all the credit in the world to the kid. He drove his tail off in the Hot Wheels Racing JC karting entry. It's unfortunate just to come up a little bit short, but he was only a few spots away from driving from 28th on the grid to a championship. So big congrats and kudos to both Weldon and Fletcher. And of course, like I said, the Mike Doty Racing guys, they are going to be going wild for Jake Walker. His first career national win nearly came yesterday when he was battling for the win and wrecked, passing for the lead. He rebounds from that and snags a win here today. Kudos to Cooper Shipman. He'll take another USPKS podium. And I'm not sure if that's the first of his season in KA Junior, but it was a heck of a performance indeed. First podium of the season for Cooper Shipman in KA100 Junior. Just so close to a first career victory. We're going to take a short commercial break here on the EKN Radio Network. When we come back, we go from the juniors to the youngsters. The micro slifts are on deck next.
You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Franklin Motorsports, Parolin USA, Trinity Karting Group, and Cooper Tires. Winning takes top quality equipment, flawless preparation, experienced coaching, and passion. And at Team GFC, we live our passion. Developed by American karting champion Gary Carlton, the GFC chassis has become one of the newest brands to reach the top of the podium in North America. GFC has garnered victories and championships at all levels of the sport since its debut at the end of 2018. Shifter kart drivers are at the front of the field running the GFC GT14 frame, and the SS31 has become a solid contender in tag and 100cc competition. Team GFC has arrive and drive packages available for all categories, including the mini and micro classes utilizing the GFC RR5 Cadet chassis. These young pilots have the opportunity to be part of the Team GFC Young Driver Development Program. Learn from one of the best American karters with over 25 years of racing at the highest levels of the sport, offering personalized training on and off the track. Follow GFC Karting on Facebook and Instagram, or click over to gfckarting.com to learn more about joining Team GFC in 2021. GFC, live your passion. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. In Colorado, the place to go for karts and parts and everything else you need to go racing is Forward Direction Motorsports. It's Colorado's premier karting company. Owned and operated by veteran karter Greg Welch, Forward Direction Motorsports is located in Centennial, Colorado. FDM has been developed to provide customer service and product sales at all levels and in both in-person and online. We're a brick and mortar shop that serves as the hub for karting in Colorado, and we're a gateway to new racers who can come in and learn about the sport. We also have an online store and can ship all over the country. We can also service all makes and models of engines and karts. Whatever you race, we can take care of you. Forward Direction Motorsports is a comp kart dealer, an authorized Rotax service center, and we can fully support all Briggs 206 racers. We support local karting 100%, and we also have a race team that takes our customers to major regional and national events on the West Coast. From kart prep and coaching to full arrive and drive packages, we offer something for everyone. You don't have to live in Colorado to experience Full Direction Motorsports' vast experience or dedication to customer. Now back to the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina, on the EKN Radio Network.
Welcome back to GoPro Motorplex here. Main event number 2 on deck. We just saw a barn burner to finish KA100 Junior. Micro Swift now next up to go green. Gian Matteo Russo lining up on the inside. It looks like of row number 1 until as Keelan Harvick got a 2-position penalty for avoidable contact with Brady Shad in the pre-final. He rolls off 3rd after coming across the line, P1. So that's again moved Russo into the pole, Alessandro Truscio to 2nd, Harvick 3rd, Lucas Palacio 4th, Brady Shad P5. Then it is Ethan Tovo P6. That's your first 3 rows. We'll keep on rolling deeper on through them as they work their way around the final corner. They're down the front stretch into the tram lines, accelerating on the power. We've got a clean start, and we're away. And it's a good start. Oh, we got a couple drivers around in the back of the field. 1 or 2 get turned around. It looks like one of the Newell brothers is around. Stephanie Miller, I think, was involved. A couple have pulled off the racetrack over here. It turns 1, 2, and 3. 3 drivers gone. So not the cleanest start for the back half. Clean up front, though, as Russo leads the way. Keelan Harvick, not the greatest start. He's about buried in the field, actually. No, he's leading. Sorry, Harvick actually with a great start, leading over Russo. Mixed up the nitros as they go down to turn number 8. Keelan Harvick, your leader. They're side-by-side for 5th. Lucas Palacio takes over 4th. Still side-by-side for P5 with Brady Shad holding on over Ethan Tovo. Tovo gets in line ahead of Ashton Woon, and up the hill, Keelan Harvick leads his nitro chassis teammate, Gian Matteo Russo. Then it's Alessandro Truscio in 3rd, Lucas Palacio 4th, Brady Shad in 5th. Shad under fire from Ethan Tovo. Tovo takes away the 5th spot. Passing all the way through the field as they climb the hill to turn number 3. Big run for Russo. He'll close up to the bumper of Harvick as Lucas Palacio goes to work pushing Alessandro Truscio, who goes in a little bit too deep to turn 4, a little bit sideways, but hangs on to it as they still battle behind them. Bronson Kustas trying to get clear on Brady Shad. He will. And so now Tovo takes over 5th. Ashton Woon 6th. Kustas 7th. Shad in 8th. Faithan Saradpun is 9th. And Jackson Gibson rounds the top 10. As they go towards turn number 9, it is still Keelan Harvick showing the way, making it seem that it was no problem at all to have that 1-2 position penalty from the pre-final. He's going to lead, and he'll lead the majority of it. Gian Matteo Russo pushing him out of turn number 11. No problem. Truscio and Palacio, 3rd and 4th. Side by side down to turn number 1. That was Bronson Kustas on the inside of Ashton Woon, who drove him down to the curbing. And Kustas trying to get clear. He's side by side with Brady Shad. He'll hang on. They'll lose a lot of time in the exchange, though, and that's going to give a big gap to the 3 in front of them with Ethan Tovo latching on to Alessandro Truscio and Lucas Palacio. Palacio went by him, took over 3rd, says, you know what, let me lead, see if I can bring us up to the top 2. I feel confident in my pace, and I would too if I'm Lucas Palacio. He's been the only kid who's been consistently lapping as fast or faster than the number 62 of Keelan Harvick, especially at this time of day if you look back at yesterday's main event. He's a lot closer today, only about a second behind the leader. 5-driver breakaway up front. Keelan Harvick leads another lap here as they come across the line. Down the back straightaway, Keelan Harvick by 3 car lengths over Gian Matteo Russo. Side by side for third, Palacio gets shuffled back by Alessandro Truscio and Ethan Tovo. So Truscio wants to lead them. He thinks he's got a better piece than Palacio. Takes them through turn number 6. Still about 7 or 8 tenths back from Russo, who is starting to lose some ground to Keelan Harvick at the moment. Through turn number 8. Truscio maybe a little bit better than Russo, but I don't know if anyone's got the pace of the Nitro cars. We've got a couple drivers off here in turn number 7. That is the number 11 machine of Tristan Murphy. His day just going from bad to worse. Back up front, Keelan Harvick's lead. Nearly half a second back to Gian Matteo Russo. Ethan Tovo now commands the third spot as they've shuffled Alessandro Truscio back. So it's Tovo, Lucas Palacio in 4th, Truscio in 5th. Going back from the top 5. Big gap back, really, to Bronson Custis' crew. That has Ashton Woon in line. Has Tyrone Kemper Jr. maybe? No, that's going to be Benja Fernandez, actually, in the... no, Faith and Saradpun, sorry, who's been up there already. Side by side, a Woon nearly going by. Does not. Saradpun there right behind him. Then it's Brady Shad. Then Jackson Gibson. Then Benja Fernandez. Then Max Christie. As the leaders come down the front stretch here, Truscio losing a little bit of time. Big-time gains for Ethan Tovo, though. He's starting to reel in the top 2, bringing Lucas Palacio with him. So good stuff for the DNJ Intermodal Services Nitro Kart team of Ethan Tovo. Here we go down the backstretch. More pushing for Gian Matteo Russo and Keelan Harvick. Lucas Palacio tried to get there to Tovo. Couldn't arrive in time, but they're still gaining. In fact, they're closing in. The Nitro Kart's coming together. The Comp Kart closing up. Truscio is a little ways back in the parallel. He's not terribly far back, but trying to close in into turn 8. Russo going to go for the lead. He'll take it away. Gian Matteo Russo, your new leader. Keelan Harvick back to 2nd. Ethan Tovo still 3rd, right on the bumper. Lucas Palacio 4th. 4-driver lead group here in Micro Swift. 14 laps to go, this time by the stripe, and they're going to pass again. Harvick to the lead. Tovo to 2nd. Here comes Palacio looking for 3rd. Side by side as Tovo completes the pass on Russo. They got to be careful. Don't let Harvick get too far out. We'll see if they push down the backstretch as Tovo completes the pass on Russo. 3 karts between 1st and 2nd, and they'll close right back up. No problem at all with the draft down the back straightaway. They got hooked up and started flying right to the rear bumper of the number 62. Through turn number 6 here this time. Through 7. 3 karts apart. Harvick, Tovo, Russo, Palacio. Truscio still not there. Trying to arrive on the scene. He's about a 2.25 seconds back from the rear bumper of Lucas Palacio. No help in sight, though, from behind for Alessandro Truscio. They're going to fight for 6th at best, outside of a red flag or a wreck ahead. Ashton Woon leads that group. Bronson Custis next, then Brady Shad, Saradpun, and then Fernandez. Down the front stretch, 13 laps to go. Keelan Harvick still your leader. Down the back straightaway, Keelan Harvick under pressure, but not under fire, as Ethan Tovo pushes him through turn number 4, and they'll all stay single file. So we'll see. Maybe they'll want to ride behind the 62. They saw Keelan pass Gian Matteo right back when he got past. They might not. They might opt to not fight for the lead just yet. But Palacio wants to fight for something. He's going to take 3rd away from Gian Matteo Russo. So Lucas Palacio starts picking apart this lead group here. He rode behind it for a couple laps. Now he's up in the middle. P3 for Lucas Palacio. P2 yesterday and nearly the win with how quick he was running down Harvick at the end. He's got a great shot at it today. 12 laps to go. 8 laps completed here for the Micro Swifts. Fast for the lead. That time by Ethan Tovo took the push from Lucas Palacio and went by in turn 4. Palacio now into second. Keelan Harvick back to third. Gianmatteo Russo is fourth. Harvick on the bumper of Palacio. Not going to go by. Yes, he will actually. Turn 8. Right back to the lead, or into second. Gets by Palacio. Palacio back to third. Ethan Tovo still a comfortable gap through turn number 9. As they come out of 9, they'll go up the hill to turn number 11. Palacio pushing Harvick out of the final turn. Ethan Tovo, it's his first lap of the main event. Keelan Harvick second, closing in. You can bet he'll make a move at the end of the back straightaway. 11 laps to go now. KA100 Senior starting to fill the grid up. That'll be the next class out as we go down the back. Here comes Harvick. Bumper not going to go on Tovo. I thought he might go by. He did not. Gianmatteo Russo still 2 carts back from Palacio. No challenge for third as your leaders head through turn number 5. Ethan Tovo remains out front. Harvick's got a run on him into turn number 8. Does he duck out here? No, he'll stay second still. Seems like Harvick's happy. Okay, P2. I thought he might be trying to go for the lead already. He'll ride for the moment. They've successfully lost and dropped off Alessandro Truccio. It'll just be these 4 battling for the lead and the win here today as Harvick gets a little push from behind, looks inside, takes the spot away from Tovo, and Lucas Palacio goes right back behind him. Tovo right back to Harvick's bumper. Keelan Harvick trying to lead the most laps here in this main event. Make sure he stays either P1 or P2 at all times. Tovo P2 at the moment. Palacio P3. Gianmatteo Russo starting to fade. He lost a couple of tenths the last few laps. He's now about on the edge of the drafting window. He falls out of that. You'll see how quickly Alessandro Truccio has fallen backwards. The same will happen to the number 10. The drivers will have to also be aware of some lap traffic up the road they may encounter very soon, and the officials, I'm sure, already got the black flag ready to pull off those drivers. They're going to try and give everyone as many laps as they can, but as soon as they get to a point where the lap traffic could potentially affect the battle for the win, they'll remove them from the racetrack. Harvick, Tovo, Palacio, not fighting hard just yet, but it's early. Give it time, and give them time here to spread out a little bit more from Gianmatteo Russo. I think that's where they're at right now. They want to keep dropping it off, make it less and less drivers with a shot at the win. At the moment, it's now down from 4 to 3. Was at 1.5. But Russo out of the draft, about a second and a half back. That's going to be too far to make up on his own, especially if they keep on pushing the way that they are. So Harvick leading the charge away, dropping the field down. It is 3 drivers now with a shot at the win as they come out of turn 8 through to turn number 9. Black flags given that time there to Riley Daubelair and Rodney Dowlis Jr. Sebastian Rice, probably the next driver in line to get removed from the racetrack as well. Then it'll be Mikey Collins in the number 35. As the field heads down the back straightaway here, Harvick leading, under fire. Here comes Tovo, here comes Palacio. Ethan Tovo back to the lead. Lucas Palacio back to second. Harvick drops to third. Gianmatteo Russo is too far back right now, but Ethan Tovo commands the field once again. As we're past the halfway mark now, moving into the final few laps of this one. 7 to go at the stripe. Palacio to the outside, inside move out of turn 8. Lucas Palacio leads for the first time here in the final. And Harvick side by side almost with Ethan Tovo. He backed out of it, thought better about it. Puts his head behind the wheel, says, all right, you know what, I'll tuck back in. Trying to make another move, but Lucas Palacio, first laps led here in the main event. And Tovo not going to work with him. He'll go down the inside. Ethan Tovo, the new leader. Lucas Palacio does not have a dancing partner around him. The Nitro karts undoubtedly will work with each other before they'll work together with him. So Tovo not tempted to push the number 25. He'll go back to the lead. Harvick was not able to follow. He was too far back after the little bobble in turn number 9, but he's right there now. Single file, 1, 2, 3. You could throw a blanket over them as they go for turn number 8. Tovo not going to see the pressure from either one as they stay tucked right behind the number 13, headed for turn number 9. Keelan Harvick trying to take second away from Lucas Palacio, and he does, and they make contact, and they get sideways. Palacio throws his hands up like, man, that was unnecessary. Now they've all spaced out, and they both have to run down Ethan Tovo, and they've only got 6 laps left to do it. So we have just completely spaced out our main group of 3 as Keelan Harvick made that aggressive move down the inside in the final corner. He had the position. I don't know if Palacio got caught off guard or if it was a little bit too late to back out, but now the top 3 are spaced out. It is Harvick in the middle, Ethan Tovo out front by 4 to 5 kart lengths, and Lucas Palacio about a half second to 7/10 back. For Keelan Harvick, if he can latch on to Tovo and push him a lap or 2 or lead him away, they might be able to make it just a 2-kart fight up front if he can get there before Palacio gets to him. And right now, that's the closing rate that he's got. He's gaining more on the leader than third is gaining on second. 5 laps to go. Ethan Tovo looking for a big-time breakthrough win here in the Micro Swift class on home turf. Lucas Palacio in the same boat, one of the youngest drivers in the field. P2 yesterday. So close to getting that first big win, both at the IAMA USA Grand National Championship and here this weekend. And now he's over a second back as Harvick pulls up to the rear end of Ethan Tovo through turn 5. Black flag coming here for a couple drivers at the end of the group. That's Sebastian Rice and Mikey Collins. The next 2 they're trying to pull off the racetrack. We'll see if we can get them into the pit lane. Collins going to be pulling in, so will Rice. That'll clear the way for the leaders. No problems for your top drivers. Harvick still pushing on Tovo. No, he's going to pass him. Turn 11. Same move we did on Palacio. This time, no contact. And Keelan Harvick goes back to the lead. Tovo took a look back, said, you know what? All right, I'll push him. I'll make it a 2-kart race. Pushes him down through turn number 1 and 2, up the hill to 3, and down the back straightaway. Lucas Palacio digging with everything that he's got to try and catch the top 2 drivers. But if Ethan Tovo goes to work on pushing with Keelan Harvick, it will be hard to match and hard to close. This time by 3 laps remaining here in the Team Ferris Racing Micro Swift class. Keelan Harvick still leads through into 9. Out of turn number 9. This time by, again, 3 to go. Harvick and Tovo with about a second gap back to Palacio, who is trying to get back to the front. As they come onto the front stretch, no passing attempts made at all by Tovo. He's happy to push him. He may wait till the final lap to try and go by. But Keelan Harvick spent a lot of club races here, a lot of national level races here now, out in front, blocking for the race win. He knows exactly where to put his car, how to make it wide, and when to make it wide, and especially when not to. And right now is the time not to. The time now is to try and continue to hit your marks and pull further and further away from third, because Palacio has shown that he has a lot of pace here this weekend. He ran down Harvick at the end, just ran out of laps on Saturday's final. Now he's trying to run of him and Tovo down. Well, they are working together, and he is all on his lonesome. In either case, we're going to run out of laps, but if Harvick blocks too soon, it'll back him up, do Palacio's work for him. 2 to go this time by. Harvick will run the normal line. Tovo will push him. Double sticks in the air. 2 more circuits around GoPro Motorplex in the Micro Swift season. Keelan Harvick and Ethan Tovo. Tovo just took a look back. He's monitoring the gap over his shoulder. Ethan Tovo's got a lot of experience here as well in the club races this year. He's run the full national calendar, a bunch of regional races as well. Made a lot of strides. They put a lot of effort into making sure he's become more and more well-rounded at each weekend out. And he knows just as much as Harvick does the importance that they continue to work together until the last possible second to pass each other. So you'll see them, normal line. They're not going to block in the hairpin. They know exactly what they need from each other. Little bobble through the hairpin for Tovo, but he'll suck back up into turn number 9, no problem. Out of 9, through the short chute, up the hill to 11, half a kart length apart. It's going to come down to these 2 drivers, barring any kind of catastrophe. White flag in the air. Can Keelan Harvick seal a picture-perfect season with a double win on the finale weekend and the championship? He's got a half kart length and a full lap to do it. Up the hill to turn number 3, down the back, final time. Ethan Tovo right there. Harvick looks back, covers off the bottom. Tovo to the outside, not going to do anything through turn number 4. Over to turns 5 and 6. Harvick still taking the normal line. Tovo trying to get a good run. This is an important corner. Turn 6. Can you set up a run to 7 and 8? He's a little ways back, about a kart length. Harvick blocks anyway. Tovo goes around the high side, tries to cross over. He's going to get there. They'll be door to 9. Can he get clear? He's not clear. Harvick hangs on, gets back to the lead. Tovo's to the bumper here. Final corner. This is where it comes down to it. How low do you go? How hard do you block? Harvick blocks the bottom. Tovo outside. Crossover move coming. It won't be enough. Keelan Harvick sweeps championship weekend. A good run for Ethan Tovo, who'll take another podium finish. Lucas Palacio completes the podium in third. Alessandro Truccio and Gian Mateo ended up getting swallowed up by the pack behind him, and that shuffled him way down the order. It ended up being Gian Mateo Russo in fourth. Bronson Kustis at the line beats Ashton Woon to round the top 5. Then Woon, Faith and Saradpun, Max Weiland, Benja Fernandez, and Jackson Gibson, your top 10. Next up, it is time for the Mike Doty Racing KA100 Seniors, where Paulie Massimino and Brandon Lemke are set to lead the 45-driver grid to the green. Stick with us, folks. You're listening to the U.S. Pro Kart Series Championship Weekend from GoPro Motorplex on the EKN Radio Network.
You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Franklin Motorsports, Parolin USA, Trinity Karting Group, and Cooper Tires. In Colorado, the place to go for karts and parts and everything else you need to go racing is Forward Direction Motorsports. It's Colorado's premier karting company. Owned and operated by veteran karter Greg Welch, Forward Direction Motorsports is located in Centennial, Colorado. FDM has been developed to provide customer service and product sales at all levels and in both in-person and online. We're a brick and mortar shop that serves as the hub for karting in Colorado, and we're a gateway to new racers who can come in and learn about the sport. We also have an online store and can ship all over the country. We can also service all makes and models of engines and karts. Whatever you race, we can take care of you. Forward Direction Motorsports is a comp kart dealer, an authorized Rotax service center, and we can fully support all Briggs 206 racers. We support local karting 100%, and we also have a race team that takes our customers to major regional and national events on the West Coast. From kart prep and coaching to full arrive and drive packages, we offer something for everyone. You don't have to live in Colorado to experience Full Direction Motorsports' vast experience or dedication to customer service. Our online store continues to expand its inventory, and the products you need are just a mouse click away. Head to fdmkarting.com the next time you need parts and equipment fast. We ship daily. Shop online or come to the store to check out our inventory and visit our service department. Head to fdmkarting.com to learn more about our products and services or call us direct at 720-323-3650. It all started in 1994, when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years, and Parolin's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolin has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. If you're searching for a program to elevate you in the motorsports ladder, Crosslink Competition is your next step. Crosslink Competition provides arrive and drive programs that include driver coaching, data analysis, and an engine rental program for all major events in the 2021 season. Team Crosslink is scheduled to compete at the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour, Rock Cup USA, and United States Pro Kart Series events, along with regional and local programs from their home base in Texas. Crosslink Competition is a full retail shop for the X30 chassis and OTK kart parts. Many new and used packages are available right now through their Dallas headquarters. For drivers interested in making the jump from karting to cars, Crosslink provides a streamlined opportunity for you. Team Crosslink and Kiwi Motorsports is a championship-winning operation in the F4 United States Championship program, providing the perfect transition within the same. Drivers looking to compete with the elite level karting program or pick up gently used team equipment are asked to call 214-432-4413. Be sure to follow them on all social media platforms at Team Crosslink. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and arrive and drive programs are available in 2021 for the USPKS and the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and Super Nationals, with full product sales and service and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private, one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. Trinity Karting Group is also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and IAME, and we're your source for MG and Avinco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. Winning takes top quality equipment, flawless preparation, experienced coaching, and passion. And at Team GFC, we live our passion. Developed by American karting champion Gary Carlton, the GFC chassis has become one of the newest brands to reach the top of the podium in North America. GFC has garnered victories and championships at all levels of the sport since its debut at the end of 2018. Shifter car drivers are at the front of the field running the GFC GT14 frame, and the SS31 has become a solid contender in tag and 100cc competition. Team GFC has arrive and drive packages available for all categories, including the mini and micro classes, utilizing the GFC RR5 Cadet chassis. These young pilots have the opportunity to be part of the Team GFC Young Driver Development Program. Learn from one of the best American karters with over 25 years of racing at the highest levels of the sport, offering personalized training on and off the track. Follow GFC Karting on Facebook. Now back to the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina, on the EKN Radio Network.
Looking for the green flag here in KA100 Senior, presented by Mike Doty Racing. 45 drivers. Paulie Massimino and Brandon Lemke won their respective heat races. Row number 2 will have Tyler Wettengell and Aiden Levy. Row 3 is going to be Nick Terlecki and Hayden Jones. Row 4, Mike McAndrews, Connor Ferris. Row 5, Colin Hayes, Emery Lida. Row 6, Tristan Farber, Gavin Bailiff. Row 7, Adam Rylance and Adam Ali as they come down the front stretch into the tram lines. Looking good. Green flag coming, and we got it. And all 45 are underway to turn 1. They'll rock it into the corner here. Let's see what we've got, if everyone will make it through. 3 and 4 abreast. Somehow they all make it, but they're still 3 wide through turn 3 in the back. And we're clean and green down to the bowl. Oh, side by side for the third spot. Terlecki gets shoved wide there by Lemke. He was trying to play chicken with him into the corner, and Levy is over top of someone. He cuts through the grass. Somehow is okay. We've got more drivers off. McAndrews is off. Mike McAndrews on the outside retaining wall. Mike McAndrews out into the barriers over here on the opening lap. He was side by side with Aiden Levy. Levy had the inside lane nose to head, it looked like, for a moment. McAndrews was trying to hang tough, and now Mike McAndrews is out on lap number 1. Levy getting past a little bit here on the opening lap, but somehow he saved it. Heck of a save as he goes down to turn 1 here behind Connor Ferris back in 7th. Down the back straightaway here for the second time. Massimino leads Wettengel, Lemke, and Terlecki. Then it is Hayden Jones trying to close up. Connor Ferris right there. Levy, Lida, Rylance, the end of the top 10, just ahead of Tristan Farber and Gavin Bailiff. Into the hairpin here. Rylance trying to get by Emery Lida, shoving him wide. Lida's still got a nose. He'll keep it in there, makes contact, sends Rylance wide. Rylance will lose another spot as Bailiff gets through. Back up front, no passing for the lead yet. Paulie Massimino actually starting to get away a little bit from Tyler Wettengel. Brandon Lemke noticing, looking, not going to go by for the lead. We'll see if Connor Ferris can help Hayden Jones close up to the top 4. Aiden Levy's trying to get there as well. As they head out of the bowl here once again, Massimino, your winner from yesterday, seems to have a really good piece here, especially on the short runs in KA Senior, but it's a long one. 22 laps for the final. Wettengel still behind him. Lemke there. Again, Terlecki, Hayden Jones, Connor Ferris. Aiden Levy's closing up to them a little bit in 5th, 6th, and 7th. Gavin Bailiff, now having gotten by Emery Lida, is up to 8th, but a long way to go as we've got yellow flags waving down over at turn 5 for one of the other Merlin drivers taken out here on the early going. Wettengel still on the bumper of Massimino. The top 4 not going to pass yet. As soon as they do, Hayden Jones, Connor Ferris, and Aiden Levy will arrive on the scene. They are matching the pace of the leaders, and last time by, they were actually a little bit quicker than Massimino at a 50.8 to a 51 flat. So on the way, but now Ferris is going to go by Jones. I don't know if that's the best move, but Connor Ferris will take over 5th. Was not a great place to do it either. By him passing right there, they cost themselves a lot of time in the final corner. But maybe Connor Ferris has something I don't see. Maybe he is a lot quicker than Jones and can lead them forward to the top 4. In any case here, it is no change up front. I'm sure the leaders talked a little bit, said, you know what, why don't we wait? Let's not make the same mistakes as yesterday and fight for 15 laps here to decide just to run in the same order coming to the 2-lap to go signal. Why don't we just follow Paulie or follow whoever cycles in the lead by the end of lap 1 around for a little while, because all that shuffling nearly allowed Connor Zilish from dead last to close up on the lead group. And Zilish is having to come from pretty far back again here. He's coming from 38th or 36th on the grid, already up a number of spots. He's just gotten by Josh Holtz and is now starting to lock his sights on that pack around the 10th position that has the likes of Gavin Bailiff leading the way of it. Aiden Levy's now gone by Hayden Jones, so maybe I was wrong. Connor Ferris starting to pull a little gap and try to bring Levy with him. Jones just hanging on. He's been so strong in the X30 class Not as strong here in the KA Senior division, but still pretty good. And, of course, he's roughly in the championship when it comes to trying to get into the top 5 or top 3. Battle behind them. Rylance on Bailiff is by. So Adam Rylance moves into 8th. Gavin Bailiff back to 9th. Side by side for 11th. That is Thomas Annunziata. He had to work his way from way deep in the field. Started in the mid-20s. He's already, upper teens, sorry. He's already going to be up into 10th now. Or back into 11th. He was shuffled up and down, but he got by one spot there. Tristan Farber gets the fast time honors. 50.282, though, for Massimino that time. That is a lot quicker than what Connor Ferris is currently lapping at, as he just put a 50.5 in. Aiden Levy decided he wanted to go back by him. Puts himself in 5th. The senior rookie trying to close out his season here with a podium, or maybe better, and nearly ended up in the wall with McAndrews on the opening lap. Instead, he is P5, but a long ways back from the leading group of 4. We'll put another lap in the books this time. 15 laps to go, 7 complete. Massimino continues to show the way over Tyler Wettengel and Brandon Lemke. Oh, a lot of contact there in that group on the edge of the top 10. Connor Ziller's going to get by almost all of them as they got side by side. Adam Rylance, I think, was trying to hang tough on the outside. Got a little bit of the short end of the stick there. Pushed wide, battling with Gavin Bailiff, and Annunziata got shuffled around as well as Zilish goes by on Emery Lida. So now Connor Zilish up to 8th. And he is already up 23, 24 spots, maybe 25 positions gained for Connor Zilish. Fantastic run through the field as he tries to close up towards the end. Deja vu here from Saturday's final, I'm sure. Up front, Nick Terlecki is starting to fade backwards a little ways. Brandon Lemke, Tyler Wettengel, and Paulie Massimino are pulling away from him, starting to walk on their own as a 3-car group instead of 4. Aiden Levy's pack is still about 4 seconds back from the leaders. They're too far back without any kind of battling to get there, and the leaders know it. They'll take their time, just kind of follow each other around, and Massimino, he's happy and comfortable out front. He'll let them push him all the way through. 13 laps to go this time by. The race continues to tick on. It is Massimino, Wettengel, and Lemke leading the way. Nine laps complete here. 13 to go for the top 3. We mentioned Hayden Jones and Connor Zilish. Zilish having the fastest lap here, up 25 spots to 8th. He's a long ways back from that pack in front. Maybe not as far back as I thought. Only about 3 or 4 seconds from Hayden Jones. Actually, about 2.25 from Hayden Jones' rear bumper. And closing, he ran a 48.97 as his or 49.97 as his best time. And the leaders are clocking at 50.1s. Now, last time he was another 50.1, absolutely on pace for the lead group, and a little bit quicker than Levy's group, about a 10th or 2. So he's chipping away, might be able to latch on and battle for 5th. Nick Terlecki is going to get swallowed up by this second group here pretty soon. Aiden Levy is bringing Connor Ferris and Hayden Jones along for the ride. Jones actually slipping a little bit further back from the pair in front of him, but nonetheless, he is still running solidly there in 7th. May have Zilish on the way in a little bit, but they've got laps before he'll get there. Thomas Annunziata has worked his way back to the lead of this crazy midfield battle. Gavin Bailiff on his bumper, then it's Emery Lida, then Adam Rylance. Then Tristan Farber. Farber's going to come under fire. That's going to be for outside the top 10. But Adam Ali will get by. That's for 13th. Josh Oates then behind them. Then side by side even further. All the way at the end of the train is Austin Osborne. He is in 18th, right behind Gia Cicero, who just fell to 17th. Riley Can up to 16th. Folks, I think we'll see a lot of what we just saw there. They say 100cc racing, especially with the KA100 package, is like full-size cadet racing. So with that, it really it looks a lot like the race we just saw, the Micro Swift division, where they waited in line till the final 2 lap to go signal before they decided to fight for the lead and the win. That's what you're going to see right now here with your race leader, Paulie Massimino, second place, Tyler Wettengel, third, Brandon Lemke, all just going to stay tucked up behind each other as they work their way out of turn number 4. You won't see really much passing at all until either they get the signal from any of the mechanics or coaches or team owners on the sidelines saying, hey, you've only got a couple laps to go, or really until our head flagman Bobby Radavoy puts the double sticks up and says you got 2 laps to go. There's also a lap counter on their microns, not always perfectly accurate, usually about a lap or 2 off, but they can somewhat manage to know roughly what percentile of the race they're in. If they're in the last quarter, if they're in the first quarter, that'll also depend. Black flag coming here this time by. That's for the 950. And I believe that might be one of the local drivers that doesn't know all the deal. Theodore Simonov, who was one of the last ones to transfer in on the main pre-finals, and getting black flagged here for a lap traffic. They've been trying to flag him for a lap or 2 and to get him out and clear before the leaders get to him because they are coming really quickly. So hopefully Theodore understands he didn't do anything wrong, but he has to get off the racetrack so he doesn't have any chance of messing up the battle for the lead and the win. So again, our head flagman kind of pointing him off the racetrack, letting him know, hey, we black flag the lappers here. We don't want any lap traffic playing into effect for the races. Back behind them. We missed the pass for 4th. Aiden Levy's gone by Nick Terlecki. Terlecki locks in behind Connor Ferris, and Connor Zilish has caught that group as well. He's up to Hayden Jones now, closing in. So Zilish looking for a top 5 result from starting in the upper 30s. Super, super impressive if he can pull it off. Here he goes on Jones. Jones is going to let him on by. He's going to ride there inside the top 10 at the end of this pack. No pressure at all from Hayden Jones to let Connor Zilish get on by. Massimino still leads here. 7.5 laps to go as they come out of the bowl. There are a couple more drivers here with potential that may get flagged off for lap traffic. Blaine Donahue, the next one in line. He should get another lap or 2 before they'll pull him, but I think they'll end up having to pull Donahue off the racetrack. The battle we will keep our eyes on is Connor Zilish. He's now up to Nick Terlecki's rear bumper. Terlecki got swallowed by this group after fading away from the top 3. Now he's been passed by Connor Ferris. Here comes the other con man, Connor Zilish, looking inside. Final corner, he's clear. And Flipper Zilish is up another spot higher inside the top 10. Connor Zilish has turned a lot of heads this weekend. A lot of guys didn't really maybe underestimated how talented that kid really is. But his drives to the field yesterday and today here in KA Senior, and of course how impressive he's been in X30 compared to the rest of the field trying to keep up with the RPG Cosmics, just shows why he was in contention for both championships and locked up this KA championship yesterday. He is just that good, and his first year in Senior to have the year he's had has been just impressive to watch as he passes Connor Ferris there in the hairpin. Clean move, clear and by into the top 5 now from starting outside beyond 35th. Or 33rd specifically is where he started after all the penalties were assessed. So Zilish was well in the show. P33 on the grid, now to P5, working up to a good local friend here in Aiden Levy he has for 4th. It'll be 5 laps to go next time by the stripe for the leaders. I think they'll probably pull in Blaine Donahue. They may end up having to pull Nazar Novosidley as well as the Trinity Karting Group driver just ahead of him on the racetrack. That is Nikita Paneras, who was involved in an incident earlier. Paneras is just going to go ahead and he'll take himself off. He knows how far back he's fallen. Nazar Novosidley, Blaine Donahue. Donahue is in. So Novosidley might be the next driver to get pulled off the racetrack as the leaders come around the final corner. 5 more laps to go. It's been like this the entirety of the main event. Massimino, Wettengel, Lemke, 1, 2, 3. Behind them, Connor Zilish made the pass on Aiden Levy, has taken over the 4th spot. Will probably be able to walk away from them. Don't think he'll be able to do much more than that as the leaders are a good ways up the road. To be specific, it is a 5.5 second gap back to Connor Zilish in P4. 4 laps to go now for the leading trio. When will they make their move? It's about a kart length cushion between all 3 of them for the majority of the lap. They're not beating down Massimino's bumper by any means. And Paulie, once he sees the 2 to go, he'll know to both pick it up or to start blocking pretty early on in the lap to make sure that Wettengel and Lemke fight each other and don't fight him as the black flag flies for Nazar Novosidley. We go back further here. Zilish starting to pull away. He's spread this pack out nicely. Levy's gotten some breathing room. Ferris as well. Terlecki's backed up to Hayden Jones, who could challenge him there for the 7th position. And then Gavin Bailiff's group has Thomas Annunziata locked behind him, along with Rylance and Gia Cicero, who's made up a handful of spots herself, up 12 already. But 2.5 laps to go now. They all are getting the 3 to go at the stripe. Your leaders headed through turn number 6. Massimino trying to pull himself a little bit of a gap. He and Tyler Wettengel have battled on the local stages here in the club races for training all year long. Brandon Lemke has about maybe not as many laps as these guys here, but he is a veteran in the senior class. Has moved up and won in his first year at what has become the X30 Pro Division Championship in 2015. As they come down the front stretch, 1 kart length between the pair, down to turn number, or about between the trio, down to turn number 1, the double sticks given. Massimino knows he'll probably have to block the inside down the backstretch because they'll get a good toe off him. Took a look back. He sees it. He goes to the inside. Wettengel has to go to the middle. He knows Lemke will stuff him if he opens up, and Lemke will take second away. So he's got to be smart of when he picks his poison. Wettengel had this opportunity yesterday. All 3 of them did. It's the same grouping. Massimino, Wettengel, Brandon Lemke headed at turn number 8 here with a lap and a half to go, and they're too far back in the majority of the lap to really make a move. It's just going to be down the backstretch at this point because look how good Massimino gets out of turn number 9. He is not sliding the rear end as he mentioned he was yesterday. He's got a massive, massive gap to the infield at a kart length or 2, considering how close they are when they start back at turn number 4 at the end of the backstretch. Out of turn number 2. In fact, that gap is up to 2 car lengths now. They'll pull up to him one more time. This might be the last chance anyone has here at Massimino. He'll cover off the inside again. No normal line. A little bit of an early dive in, but that's about it. Takes a decent run through the bowl. Connor Zilish and Aiden Levy, they're safe, 4th and 5th. Ferris is alone in 6th. Jones has taken over 7th from Terlecki. They're going to battle on the final lap. Massimino taking a look back to the hairpin. Knows he's pretty far out in front on Wettengel. Defends a little bit. Wettengel pulls to the bumper. He'll have 1 shot in the final corner. That'll be it. Massimino, great exit out of turn 9. Wettengel's close. I don't think he's close enough. Massimino covers it off anyway. Out of the final turn, Paulie Massimino sweeps in KA, and a little wave to Tyler Wettengel as he came across the line. Wow. All in good fun there. Both drivers shaking hands as Brandon Lemke goes on by, so I'm guessing all good between the pair. But Tyler Wettengel, P2 again here, a good result to end the weekend. Massimino sweeps in what is usually his only KA100 Senior outing on the year. Picks up another win for the Ryan Perry Motorsport crew. And as they go down to turn number 8, Brandon Lemke will put himself on the podium again. It'll make him officially the vice champion in the KA100 Senior class. And Connor Zilish, that drive once again from the back, rivals that of yesterday. 29 spots picked up from 33rd to 4th, and it clinches his first career U.S. Pro Kart Series Senior title in his first season. We're going to take another commercial break here after this one. Looking back through your top 10, beyond Zilish and Levy in 5th, Connor Ferris. Hayden Jones ended 7th, holding off Nick Terlecki. Thomas Annunziata ended in 9th, and Adam Rylance gets himself a national level top 10. Good stuff for the local driver and tuner out of New York. As we go back to the next class on the order, it is time for the Pro X30 Juniors. They're revved up and ready to go. Stick with us, folks. The EKN Radio Network's coverage of the U.S. Pro Kart Series season finale at GoPro Motorplex rolls on.
You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Franklin Motorsports, Parolin USA, Trinity Karting Group, and Cooper tires. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. In Colorado, the place to go for karts and parts and everything else you need to go racing is Forward Direction Motorsports. It's Colorado's premier karting company. Owned and operated by veteran karter Greg Welch, Forward Direction Motorsports is located in Centennial, Colorado. FDM has been developed to provide customer service and product sales at all levels and in both in-person and online. We're a brick and mortar shop that serves as the hub for karting in Colorado, and we're a gateway to new racers who can come in and learn about the sport. We also have an online store and can ship all over the country. We can also service all makes and models of engines and karts. Whatever you race, we can take care of you. Forward Direction Motorsports is a comp kart dealer, an authorized Rotax service center, and we can fully support all Briggs 206 racers. We support local karting 100%, and we also have a race team that takes our customers to major regional and national events on the West Coast. From kart prep and coaching to full arrive and drive packages, we offer something for everyone. You don't have to live in Colorado to experience Full Direction Motorsports' vast experience or dedication to customer service. Our online store continues to expand its inventory, and the products you need are just a mouse click away. Head to fdmkarting.com the next time you need parts and equipment fast. We ship daily. Shop online or come to the store to check out our inventory and visit our service department. Head to fdmkarting.com to learn more about our products and services, or call us direct at 720-323-3650. It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years and Parolin's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolin has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. If you're searching for a program to elevate you in the motorsports ladder, Crosslink Competition is your next step. Crosslink Competition provides arrive and drive programs that include driver coaching, data analysis, and an engine rental program for all major events in the 2021 season. Team Crosslink is scheduled to compete at the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour, Rock Cup USA, and United States Pro Kart Series events, along with regional and local programs from their home base in Texas. Crosslink Competition is a full retail shop for the X30 chassis and OTK kart parts. Many new and used packages are available right now through their Dallas headquarters. For drivers interested in making the jump from karting to cars, Crosslink provides a streamlined opportunity for you. Team Crosslink and Kiwi Motorsports is a championship-winning operation in the F4 United States Championship program, providing the perfect transition within the same. Drivers looking to compete with the elite level karting program or pick up gently used team equipment are asked to call 214-432-4413. Be sure to follow them on all social media platforms at Team Crosslink. Now back to the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina, on the EKN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Mooresville, North Carolina. The X30 Pro Junior division getting set to go green. Rollison Performance Group, the presenting sponsor for this class. Caleb Gufera is going to start on the pole for the pre-final. He had a solid day. I won't say dominating, but it was great. And, of course, ended off with the win in his debut with the Rollison Performance Group team. He loads up to the inside of Justin Ataconis after Aiden Ingrata had a two-position penalty for the bumper being pushed in on the 705. So he rolls off third. Jeremy Fletcher to his outside, fourth. As they go down to turn number one, the championship's so tight it's about 30 points apart. And down to turn one, we're green. Through the first corner, Gafera leads them up the hill. Ataconis slots to second. Fletcher's on the outside. He's still shuffled back. Max Garcia down to the bottom. Jeremy Fletcher trying to send it deep around Garcia. He won't. He'll be pushed to the weeds. Trying to hang on in front of Miles. He gets into fifth. Garcia to fourth. Aiden Ingrata to third. Aiden Ingrata needs to put about 3, maybe 4 go-karts between himself and Jeremy Fletcher if he wants to win this championship. And right now, it might work that way. Christian Miles trying to get by Fletcher, going to be on the outside now as Michael Costello battles Miles. He'll take back over 6th. Miles to 7th. Fletcher hangs on to 5th. Your leader at the end of lap number 1 will be Caleb Gafera. Justin Ataconis, I think, was the driver that tagged the outside barrier in turn 11. Here comes Aiden Ingrata. Inside, takes over 2nd. Garcia is still 4th there under pressure from Fletcher. As they go down the back here, Garcia all over Justin Ataconis. Down to turn 4. He's going deep on the brakes, inside and clear for the MPG Motorsports Will Power car to Max Garcia to 3rd. Caleb Gafera, the junior rookie here, along with Aiden Ingrata, and junior rookie as well, Max Garcia in 3rd. Ataconis going to come under fire for more. Fletcher getting pushed by Michael Costello by, and they all get tagged together. Somehow no wreck that time. Christian Miles almost ended up getting put on top of Costello. Costello was trying to help Fletcher out, ended up hurting him a whole lot more as they go 3 wide in the final turn. No, 2 wide, sorry. Garcia on Ingrata. He takes over 2nd. 2 by 2 deep in the back here. Christian Miles just trying to hang on. Another driver got shuffled way back to the first corner. As Garcia is now going to go to the lead. Max Garcia to the lead here in the MPG Motorsports Will Power Kart in the Coconut Grove, Florida driver. Leads early here in the X30 Pro Junior class. Gafera back to 2nd. Ingrata is 3rd, Fletcher 4th. At this point, Fletcher would win the title. Oh, man, Michael Costello just about cleaned out Justin Ataconis, trying to get to the inside of him. It was Christian Miles who got shuffled back down the order about 4 spots into turn number 1. He's now down to 10th on the racetrack as Gafera goes back on Garcia. Ingrata tried to follow, couldn't do it. Does Garcia go back on Gafera? He doesn't. He'll push him into 1. So Caleb Gafera retains the lead. As they go down the backstretch, Ingrata's right there. They're tightly packed, the top 5. Garcia pushing Gafera, slamming him as they go into turn number 4, wanting him to go a little deeper in the corner, and he doesn't. But Jeremy Fletcher had a look there on Ingrata into turn 5, didn't do it. If he can put Ingrata behind him, of course, that makes the worries go away, but right where he's at should be enough. Here comes Fletcher for third on Ingrata, and Justin Ataconis goes as well. Michael Costello trying to also go. Costello's been very aggressive today. Ingrata carefully works his way back in line, and Costello is P6, although he's right there looking. Final turn, not going to go by. Ingrata remains P5. Oh, little mistake there from Jeremy Fletcher. He about pounded the barrier on the outside of the final corner. That would have been catastrophe for Jeremy. Down the back straight, it's still Gaffera and Garcia as Ingrata trying to go by on Ataconis. Can't do it into the bowl. That'll give Jeremy Fletcher some more breathing room in third. About 3 car lengths worth back to Justin Ataconis as the leaders work their way into the infield hairpin once again. Danny Dzelski going to make up a spot on Stephen Miller. Christian Miles trying to go also. Can't fully do it. Tucks back in line. This time by the stripe, it'll be 21 laps to go here with already 5 laps completed in the 26th lap. Main event for X30 Junior. Ingrata this time clears the pass for 4th. Sets his sights on the top 3. He sees that championship driving away from him, in front of him, as Jeremy Fletcher has about a half-second gap back to Ingrata. Ataconis still back there, now under pressure from Michael Costello. And the driver on the way, is that Jorge Ortiz? That is indeed. Jorge Ortiz up a number of spots already, and the Super Tuned Tony Kart driver is trying to close in on the top 5, as Christian Miles is still trapped in purgatory, it seems, at the end of the top 10 of whether or not he can get out of the midfield or not. He just went by Danny Dzelski and Stephen Miller, and now leads the pack. Does Dzelski work with him? He will for the moment, as up front, Fletcher has gone by Garcia for second. Caleb Gaffera still leads, but Jeremy Fletcher is now into P2. And Aiden Ingrata, that time, just went purple. He closed up majorly to the top 3. Coming out of turn number 4 here, Justin Ataconis still holding on over Michael Costello. Jorge Ortiz closing in on both of them. Caleb Gaffera knows Fletcher's back there. Fletcher kind of taking his time. I think he's not fully aware how quick Ingrata caught them with the pass on Garcia, or if he is, doesn't seem to mind. He's happy to follow Gaffera for the moment, who seems to be leading them at a good rate. Costello getting by Ataconis this time in the hairpin, though, moves him up into the 5th spot. Ataconis back to 6th, and Jorge Ortiz has caught them. He's 7th. Good run on a turn number 2 for Jeremy Fletcher. Does he go this time on Caleb Gaffera? Garcia hits him, and he goes off the racetrack. I think that was a racing deal. Garcia was just trying to help push him forward, and the accordion effect is Fletcher bounced back off of Gaffera. Garcia gets into Fletcher. Fletcher went through the dirt, and now he's back to 4th. And Aiden Ingrata goes back in a position where he could try and clinch the championship if he gets 1 or 2 more spots. So we'll see. Garcia there was just trying to help Fletcher out, at least to get closer to Gaffera. Now Garcia is going to get passed by Ingrata. And Gaffera opens up a gap of about half a second back to Max Garcia. Through the infield here, Ingrata taking Garcia back up to Gaffera. Jeremy Fletcher spent the last lap cleaning off his tires, so that's why he hasn't fully caught back up yet. Michael Costello and Justin Ataconis are back on the way. Christian Miles has got a second life, and he is closing up on Jorge Ortiz. Oh, problems for Jacob Kolar. He gets spun right going into the hairpin facing traffic. He'll have to wait for everybody to go on by and drop to the tail end of the field in the RS card under the PK Sports banner. Here comes Aiden Ingrata to the bumper of Caleb Gaffera. Down the back straightaway. Big run. Big head of steam. Pushes him into the bowl. Not going to pass him. I thought he might have gone that time. Ingrata waits in line. Fletcher hopefully didn't bend anything, having to get punted through the dirt. through turn number 3 as Michael Costello starts to bear down. Here goes Ingrata. Garcia going to follow him, clears himself as well. And at this point, if they finish first and fourth, I think the favor in the championship would go to Aiden Ingrata. So he loves it. He's doing what he has to do. Tried to cross the line first to win the pre-final, or with Fletcher not being too far back in the pre-final. He only gained about 5 points. So he still has 40 to gain, but it's 200 to win. Where Fletcher's at is 140 points in fourth. That'll be more than enough. Even if Fletcher finished third, I think they would tie on points based on how things are. So Aiden Ingrata, Jeremy Fletcher, the two in the championship, the two drivers first and fourth. All the drivers around them completely out of the championship fight. Max Garcia, he's trying to fight Christian Miles for third in the title chase. Miles has an outside shot at maybe getting to the lead in the championship if they both wreck, but really he's a little too far back for Fletcher or Ingrata to worry about. And he's so far back now, again, that Garcia might get third. Not to mention, of course, the big cash prize up for grabs. Now, Garcia going by on Ingrata. Jeremy Fletcher simultaneously going into third. Max Garcia, your new leader, and that'll change things up again. So it's Garcia down the back straightaway with Ingrata behind him. Jeremy Fletcher getting hit from behind, knocked sideways. Caleb Gaffera, Michael Costello, and Justin Ataconis all accordion effect, third through sixth, and that gives Ingrata and Garcia a little bit more breathing room. Into turn number 8 here. Costello with help from Ataconis. Just a rough pass attempt for Michael Costello. Caleb Gaffera able to fend him off, and Costello falls to sixth. Out of the final corner here, this time by the stripe. 14 laps to go. Pointed black flag given to one of the drivers in that second group of 3. I don't know if that was Ataconis or for Costello, but definitely for the move attempt in turn number 8, because that nearly collected Caleb Gaffera. Aiden Ingrata looking for the lead in the hairpin. He'll take it, and Jeremy Fletcher pushes him forward. Now Fletcher into second. That would clinch the title no matter what. So he's in a good spot. If he wanted to, and if he was able to push Ingrata away to the win, he could do that, still win the championship. But there's money on the line too. $2,500 up for grabs with a winner, an X30 Pro Junior overall on the weekend. Jeremy Fletcher would love some cold hard cheddar, and he's got to do as good as he can to win the overall, because it's based on your performance in the main event today and the main event from yesterday. Ingrata into turn number 4. Still leads with Fletcher behind. Garcia a kart length or 2 back. Gaffera about a 5 or 6 kart length margin back from third. Michael Costello, meanwhile, worked his way back by Justin Ataconis for 5th. And we go a little further back. There's Logan Toke and Christian Miles, 7th and 8th. Stephen Miller is 9th. Jorge Ortiz, he was going forward for a good bit early. I don't know if they faded a little bit or just really had a good short run setup, but with where they're at with the tires, he is back to 10th and fading as Danny Dzelski is bearing down. So is Leonardo Scorpioni, Sebastian Weldon, and Cameron Brinkman. Down the front straightaway here, Aiden Ingrata, Jeremy Fletcher, Max Garcia down to turn number 1 and up the hill to turn number 3. 10 laps to go for Ingrata, Fletcher, and Garcia. They have dropped Caleb Gaffera, Justin Ataconis, and Michael Costello, and now they're fighting for the lead, though. That might bring them back into it. Fletcher, the new leader, through turn number 4. Garcia second, Ingrata third. They built up a pretty substantial gap over the last couple of laps. 1.5 seconds back to Caleb Gaffera, Jeremy Fletcher, Max Garcia, Aiden Ingrata. 1, 2, 3, the adjusted order of the lead group now, as Gaffera again still tries to lead the second group. Logan Toke and Christian Miles just kind of biding their time, 7th and 8th, waiting and hoping the leaders fight a little more to bring them back into it. Now with Garcia going through to the lead in the final corner, he'll lose it back in turn 1 as Fletcher slide jobs him. And just as they built up a major gap, it's going to start to evaporate if they fight like that this early. 9 to go still here in the final. Fletcher retains the lead to turn 4. So Jeremy Fletcher, Max Garcia, Aiden Ingrata once again back to the order as they go through turn number 7. Into turn number 8 here. Fletcher, no pressure at all. This time it seems like he's settled the argument between himself and Garcia of who's going to lead this grouping. All 3 drivers seem pretty evenly matched on speed. Aiden Ingrata has shown hot flashes of pace that's levels above the field here and there, but on a consistent level, seems like the 3 drivers are equal, especially when it comes to being in each other's toe. They cannot shake each other. All 3 of the top 3 drivers with a good margin over the field. Garcia pushing heavily on Fletcher, this time down the back. Open the gap up to about a kart length over Ingrata. Ingrata will eat that up in the brake zone. It'll balance out once again as they go through turns 5 and 6. 7.5 laps to go in the Rollison Performance Group X30 Pro Junior season. $2,500 on the line. A championship on the line as well. A little bit of a shove there through 8. Garcia, and they all let each other back in line. He was going to go alongside Fletcher, tucked back in. All right, they've started to battle again, and here comes the 6-car party. It was 3. Jeremy Fletcher roughly needs to finish 4th or better no matter what, and he'll win the title. But now, as they've traded the lead here with 6.5 laps to go, he is in jeopardy of falling beyond the top 4 because Caleb Gaffera is right there. So is Justin Ataconis, and Michael Costello, the wild card. He has been a bit of a wild thing here this weekend. Up front, Fletcher knows he's got to stay there. He goes on Garcia, Gaffera, Ataconis, even Costello nearly gets by. Garcia dropped to 5th. Still a lot of time left, though, and now your championship top 2. Aiden Ingrata, Jeremy Fletcher are 1st and 2nd, and Fletcher tries to lead them again. 5 to go. If Fletcher, again, lets Ingrata win, he's got to finish at minimum 4th place on the racetrack. He drops to P5 or P6, and Aiden Ingrata will score his first career U.S. Pro Kart Series title. If not, Jeremy will get his 2nd on the day and sweep the junior classes in 2021. He's trying to lead Gaffera back up there. Gaffera doesn't care about the championship. Neither does Justin Ataconis. And Ataconis ran the whole season. But both drivers are in it just for the checkered flag and the money at the end of it all. And they've got a good shot at it if they can get Fletcher up to Ingrata and start fighting once again. 4 laps to go this time by. Keep an eye also out. Logan Toke and Christian Miles, 7th and 8th. They're only about a 2.5 back from the grouping. They've got enough laps they could get there. 4 to go. Fletcher has arrived to Aiden Ingrata's bumper. and he's going to have a great shot at him down at turn number 4. 4 more laps around GoPro Motorplex in the X30 Pro Junior season. 6 drivers together. Here comes Fletcher. Big run. Looking for the lead. And into the bowl. Jeremy Fletcher leads it. They all get bottled up. Ingrata drops to 4th. That's exactly what Fletcher needs. Is Costello nearly gets to 5th on Garcia. Drops back to P6. Caleb Gaffera moves into 2nd. Ataconis to 3rd. Ingrata starting to block now. Garcia puts the bumper to him, moves him up the racetrack out of turn number 8. He'll lose out a little bit as they go into 9. Ingrata holds. But that'll give a nice little cushion for them as they go back towards the front. Up front, Jeremy Fletcher will come to see 3 to go this time. Can Caleb Gaffera double up on the weekend? Down to turn number 1. Big run to the bumper. He'll push him. So now it's Aiden Ingrata that has to go on the attack. We saw how ridiculously fast he was yesterday. Gaffera, though, bumper, nearly gets by on Fletcher as Garcia goes by on Ingrata. He takes over 4th. Ingrata back to 5th. They didn't lose a ton of time in the exchange altogether, to be fair, but Caleb Gaffera and Justin Ataconis, if they want a shot at the win, they got to go on Fletcher real soon. Ingrata on Garcia, takes back 4th. Side by side for 5th. Costello to the outside. Not able to get it done. Garcia hangs on, gives Ingrata a little bit of breathing room. He can now tuck his head down. Double sticks coming. 2 laps left in the season. Jeremy Fletcher, leader of a 6-car party, to the lead into turn number 1. Caleb Gaffera is right there. He gets a decent run out of 2. Justin Ataconis has been the sleeper all race long. Here comes Gaffera. Fletcher blocks the bottom. Gaffera trying to move him up the racetrack. Can't get him all the way out of the way. Ataconis still right there. Ingrata's coming. He'll get to the bumper. Right up to him into turn number 6. Taps Ataconis. Lets him know there's more company. Fletcher now leaves the door open. Gaffera's going to hit him. Moves him out of the way. Sideways. Gaffera to the outside into 9. Here comes Ataconis. He'll go to the inside, and he'll cut underneath both of them. Fletcher's on the outside. He gets pushed wide. Ataconis is there. Aiden Ingrata's 3 wide on the bottom to the lead. They're wrecking and sideways. Somehow we're all still green, and Aiden Ingrata leads to the white flag. Here comes Gaffera. They're door banging. Jeremy Fletcher's back to 3rd. 2 more spots back, and Aiden Ingrata's going to win the championship. Up the hill to turn number 3. Now, do they hook up? Do they run down Aiden Ingrata? Caleb Gaffera opens the door. Fletcher's going to stuff him. He goes back to 2nd. He's doing what he has to do to win a title. Jeremy Fletcher, P2. That's more than enough. He's just got to hang on and hope they fight behind him. Gaffera trying to win the overall on the weekend. He's got a comfortable gap on Garcia. They block the inside. Fletcher to the bumper on Ingrata. It'll be the top 2. The heavyweights on the year battling for the last win. Ingrata blocks too much in 9. Fletcher is by. Jeremy Fletcher, can he seal the deal? Blocks the inside. Ingrata does the same. Jeremy Fletcher wins the last race and the championship. What an epic conclusion to the X30 Pro Junior main event. Aiden Ingrata almost comes away with a win on Sunday. Instead, Jeremy Fletcher snags the win, snags the championship, and I think, but I'm not sure, it might put him in the total points when it's all tallied up for the overall on the weekend. It was phenomenal racing here to the line. They about all 6 drivers completely wiped out in the final corner, coming to the white flag. And somehow or another, it ends up Jeremy Fletcher on top. Aiden Ingrata 2nd, Caleb Gaffera 3rd, Max Garcia 4th. Logan Toke was nowhere near that group with 2 laps to go in 7th. He ends up 5th. Christian Miles 6th, Michael Costello 7th, Leonardo Escorpione 8th, Stephen Miller 9th, and Adam Brickley rounds the top 10. Wow. Still 3 more events to come. X30 Masters is next up. Stick with us. You're listening to the USPKS on the EKN Radio Network.
You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Franklin Motorsports, Parolin USA, Trinity Karting Group, and Cooper Tires. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and arrive and drive programs are available in 2021 for the US PKS and the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and Super Nationals, with full product sales and service and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private, one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. Trinity Karting Group is also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and IAME, and we're your source for MG and Avinco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. Winning takes top quality equipment, flawless preparation, experienced coaching, and passion. And at Team GFC, we live our passion. Developed by American karting champion Gary Carlton, the GFC chassis has become one of the newest brands to reach the top of the podium in North America. GFC has garnered victories and championships at all levels of the sport since its debut at the end of 2018. Shifter car drivers are at the front of the field running the GFC GT14 frame, and the SS31 has become a solid contender in tag and 100cc competition. Team GFC has arrive and drive packages available for all categories, including the mini and micro classes, utilizing the GFC RR5 Cadet chassis. These young pilots have the opportunity to be part of the Team GFC Young Driver Development Program. Learn from one of the best American karters with over 25 years of racing at the highest levels of the sport, offering personalized training on and off the track. Follow GFC Karting on Facebook and Instagram, or click over to gfckarting.com to learn more about joining Team GFC in 2021. GFC, live your passion. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything. Now back to the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina, on the EKN Radio Network.
Welcome back to GoPro Motorplex and the EKN Radio Network's coverage of the United States Pro Kart Series season finale here from Mooresville, North Carolina. It has been a wild afternoon, to say the least. We have just witnessed one of the wildest X30 Junior main events of the season, with 6 drivers all going head-to-head, coming to a head here with the championship on the line. Jeremy Fletcher, a second place yesterday on track. The win today here in a head-to-head battle against his championship rival Aiden Ingrata and about 5 others should not only give him the win, obviously, today if he passes through tech and no penalties, not only the championship, but the $2,500 weekend bonus as well. With all that in mind here, there is still a title to be decided in X30 Masters with Mario Barrios and Scott Roberts and Scott Kopp all kind of balancing back out. It's a 10-point gap between Mario Barrios back to Scott Kopp in second. Scott Roberts is 84 points out of the lead. He's got a long way to go to try and win this championship. He needs both Kopp and Barrios to fade outside the top 5 for any kind of a shot at the title. However, for Kopp and Barrios, it is pretty much heads-up racing with how good they've been performing whoever beats the other one in this winner-take-all style championship fight where the points have come down to is going to be the title winner. So Mario Barrios, he rolls off third. Scott Kopp rolls off second. Third in the championship with an outside shot. Scott Roberts won the pre-final, so he rolls off on the pole. There's still plenty of other drivers in the field, of course, though. As we look back beyond your top three, Frank Runco rolls off to the outside of row two. Then it's Connor Hare, Laurentian Mardan, Christian Vomir, Edward Fortier, Danner Robertson, and Steven Stowe. And an early jump for Mario Barrios. For Scott Roberts, we'll give Mario Barrios into second. Scott Kopp trying to find his way in line. He drops down the order to fifth on the opening lap here, and they rocket down to turn number 4 with, is that going to be Barrios? He's under fire. That is a great start from Connor Hare. He moves into second. Couple drivers in the back got together. Miguel Meyer, I believe, was one of them that got knocked off the racetrack here through turn 3. Kopp already looking to go forward, not going to do it on Vomir. He looked to the inside into turn number 8, didn't pull the trigger. Danny Robertson is in 6th. 7th is Edward Fortier. 8th, Rob Mayer. And coming to the line to lead lap number 1, Scott Roberts doing what he needs to do to try and win this championship. He's got 25 to 30 more points still to gain for Mario Barrios as he's knocked 45 out of the championship deficit. Again, Roberts is fine with where Scott Kopp is. Kopp being back and forth. That's a good amount of points gained, almost enough to win it. Barrios, though, forces his way back on Connor Hare, and that'll put him into second, gets another go-kart in between himself and Scott Kopp, who's simultaneously back in turn number 1, was able to get by Christian Vomir. Vomir now back to 5th and has a little cushion back to Danny Robertson, who's under pressure. Edward Fortier inside and clear in turn number 8. So Fortier into 6th, Robertson 7th, Mayer 8th. Out of the final turn, Scott Roberts will put another lap in the books. Let's see how lap number 2 shakes out of the 22-lap final. A 48.71 for Roberts, 48.66 for Mario Barrios. That's half a tenth quicker. That'll slowly close in on the gap, and it'll accelerate as he gets even closer. If he can match and continue that pace up here, we're still very early in the going. Connor Hare, turn 4, just got shuffled back behind Scott Kopp. So once again, the top 3 in the championship, top 3 on the racetrack, makes it that much harder for Roberts to get the title. At this point, all he can do is continue to try and drive away, put himself as far ahead of Barrios and Kopp as he possibly can. Out of turn number 9 here, he'll put that gap a little bit bigger back to Barrios, and Barrios has to worry again if Scott Kopp gets around him. That's the championship right there. So Kopp, he sees the 5'11 of Barrios. Barrios looks back, sees him. And the last time these two got together on a Sunday, it was for the race win in Road America. It ended up in the final corner with Kopp on top of Barrios, and Barrios falling about 5 spots back. That was nearly 3 months ago. We now fast forward here to GoPro Motorplex in October, and guess what? Drivers do not forget. And with these two fighting for the championship, there will be no holds barred. They know what the situation is coming into today. They are on 2 of the most successful teams in the paddock. Kopp under the Franklin Motorsports, the combination Merlin banner, and of course Mario Barrios under the massively dominating group that is the Rollison Performance Group banner. That time by Edward Fortier went the fastest. We'll see how the lap times update with another one in the books. 4 down, 18 to go. Quick time goes to Scott Kopp. 2 tenths quicker than Barrios. Barrios only able to match the pace of Roberts, who is starting to pull away just a little bit further now. As they go down the backstretch, you can see Scott Kopp's a kart length back from Barrios. We're still very early in the final, but of course I'm talking it up because we know how much is on the line. They know how much is on the line. Whether you want a ticket to the Miami International Final, whether you want to try and give yourself a full entry, fully funded entry with tires into the 2022 U.S. Pro Kart Series, a free X30 motor, your first pick goes in order of the champion. On top of that, there's the bragging rights. Scott Kopp, he is the reigning champ, trying to go back-to-back, keep the number 1 plate on the FMS OTK machine. He's right there on Barrios. Barrios makes a bobble. Here comes Kopp. Barrios drives him down to the inside. Kopp will still clear him, and Scott Kopp moves into second and moves into the provisional championship position. Out of turn number 4 here, a second and a half, nearly 2 seconds already for Scott Roberts. It looks like deja vu from yesterday. We'll monitor the battle behind them as Kopp now starts to try and pull away from Barrios. Barrios again, just as we mentioned with Kopp, he's not seeing Scott Kopp in front of him. He's seeing the one driver between him and a U.S. Pro Kart Series championship, and he'll do anything he can to try and get it. We know how much Mario Barrios wants this. We know how much Scott Kopp wants this. They've talked about it coming into this weekend. I'm talking with both drivers specifically how much it means here to win the national title, because unlike in some of the other divisions the U.S. Pro Kart Series hosts, where across the country there are massive fields in other touring series, there is really no other touring series that has the numbers and competition on a full season scale that the U.S. Pro Kart Series does for the old guys, for the X30 Masters. This is the title. This is the championship they want to win. Matters more to them probably than any other division on the class structure, just because this is the only series that they can run a full championship and have full stacked fields in. As they exit turn number 8, Barrios, knowing that again and seeing that he's got to find a little more pace, because Scott Kopp pulled away a little bit over the last lap or so, and has a great launch out of 9, will add a half kart length to the margin, while Scott Roberts, on the other hand, puts another lap in the books and another quick time. 15 laps to go. There is a good battle going on beyond the top 4 drivers, as Edward Fortier has moved himself into 4th. Christian Vomier has a hungry group behind him. Connor Hare is right there. Oh, one driver way off the racetrack. Way off for Rob Mayer. He is still in the dirt as they come into the hairpin, trying to find a safe place to rejoin. And Rob Mayer is going to fall all the way to the tail. He missed the apex in turn number 6, went wide, and couldn't find a way back on the racetrack. Mario Barrios now gets shuffled back by Edward Fortier. Fortier to 3rd. Scott Kopp still 2nd. Fortier on the move here. He's having a banner day right now, and he just split up the championship duo, getting by Mario Barrios there for P3. He's not caring about what the stakes are. He wants to go for the podium as they go up the hill to turn number 3. Couple karts between 2nd and 3rd. Couple karts between 3rd and 4th. And down the back, the gap back to from Scott Roberts to the next group, over 3 seconds already. Fortier closing in on Scott Kopp now, pulling away from Barrios. 2 kart lengths between them, make it half a kart length. He has such a great run coming out of the hairpin. The bottom end just unreal for Edward Fortier. And as they exit turn number 9, half a kart length, pulls back out to about a kart length as Scott Kopp has a great exit. But out of the final corner here, Edward Fortier trying to close up, trying to get himself to 2nd. Barrios back to the bumper. He's going to light him up a little bit through turn number 1, lifts the rear end, lets him know he didn't like the way that he got by him earlier. It was a little bit rough, and we've got a problem as well for John Robichaux out of turn number 9. I don't know what happened to old Robichaux, but he is having an issue here now as Barrios forces his way by on Edward Fortier, gets back into 3rd. Just getting word here from inside the EKN tower. David Cole tallying up the point standings with the drivers finishing second and third right now. Kopp and Barrios. I thought it was more heads up than what it is. It would tie them. Kopp is actually 5 points further back than where I thought he was. So in the tie, both drivers, then it would go to the number of wins. Barrios has 1 win. Scott Kopp also 1 win. It goes down to second places. Barrios has more P2s. So that's what the tiebreaker would come down to. Not even number of wins, because they're tied on wins. It would come down to number of second-place results. Barrios would have 3 to, I believe, Kopp. If he finishes second right now, it would be his second place, not his third. So, again, Barrios would win the tiebreaker between the pair. So he doesn't necessarily need to get to Kopp, but he can't let Edward Fortier get back to him and get back around him for fourth again, because that will change the championship fight. We're already past halfway here in the final. 12 laps complete, 10 laps to go in the last main event of the year for X30 Master. Eight laps to go this time by for Scott Roberts as he comes across the start-finish line. He'll put another lap and another half second or so on the field. The gap back to Scott Kopp, nearly 4 seconds now. He's started to kind of ease off the throttle a little bit, stabilize, make sure he just keeps managing the gap. In fact, I think I saw him take a look back down the back straightaway to manage where Kopp is at the moment. Barrios trying to run down Scott Kopp. I don't know if he knows where the tiebreakers fall or position by position. He might be thinking how I was earlier on, that he needs to beat Scott Kopp to win the championship. But him collecting those 10 points in qualifying by qualifying on the pole is making the difference, and it's tying them right now. And again, he would win on tiebreakers based on the number of second-place finishes, since they're already tied on wins. Edward Fortier was moving really fast early. I don't know if he got a little bit tired here in the final few laps or if the card has started to fall off, but he has faded backwards from Barrios. He will not be a factor, which is honestly unfortunate for Scott Kopp, because that was going to be his savior in trying to make this a show. But nonetheless, here for the X30 Master, 7 laps to go. Scott Roberts continues to lead. Next up here on the EKN Radio Network in order will be the X30 Pro Senior main event, the final one of the season, presented by Franklin Motorsports, where Hayden Jones, for the second day in a row, is going to get to lead the field to the green. Hannah Greenemeyer second. Connor Zilich will line up third. Ryan Norberg fourth. Paulie Massimino will line up fifth. Alessandro DeTulio sixth. Ryan Raffa seventh. Biggs Tyner will line up eighth. Will Power ninth. Brandon Jarczyk, the reigning champion, will line up 10th. Barrios, the last few times, has been, again, just back and forth of whether or not he's been quick enough to run down Scott Kopp for second. I'm sure he'd love to end the season beating his championship rival here, especially with all that's gone down between the pair of them. The races going back and forth, and how close this would come down. There are not a lot of karting championships I can think of in recent memory that have come down to ties. Only a handful, and I've been in the booth for quite a few over the last half decade, near decade, with David Cole, where a tiebreaker has been used to decide a national title. It's only happened a handful of times. It always ends up in controversy because of the way the tiebreakers are written. It's just so rare. Not a lot of people know how the tiebreakers fall. And each series usually has a little bit of a different breakdown.
Technically at 3. It popped one today.
Well, as we took a break off the air there just to double check on the tiebreakers here, and as we are interpreting the USPKS rulebook, again, I think David Cole and I now we're doubting ourselves a little bit on how we did our tiebreakers. We do, from what we can tell in our calculations, believe that Scott Kopp finishing second, Mario Barrios finishing third, will tie them on points. And they are tied on the number of race wins. That will not break today because Scott Roberts, outside of a mechanical failure, is poised to sweep this weekend here with a lap and a half remaining. From there, after main event wins, what will be the next tiebreaker to fall is on a little bit blurry, at least from what our interpretation is on the rules. We're checking on that. Initially, we thought it might have been second places. We're not exactly sure where it'll be. What we do know is that these two will tie on points, and we'll leave it to the guys paid to actually make the decision and not to speculate like us. Pardon me, Allie Long would like me to correct. The women paid, our head chief in timing and scoring. The personnel paid to make the decision for the U.S. Pro Kart Series. That will be, again, taken up and decided. So we'll wait to hear on that. Again, from what David Cole and I can put together, which is about 4 brain cells all in all, is we've got a tie on the points, unofficially. But we'll figure that out, and we'll let the smarter people than us figure that out. We don't want to take away, though, from what a dominating day it has been for Scott Roberts. A dominating weekend. The Speed Concepts Racing X30 Master class is going to get swept by the SCR Red Speed. Scott Roberts dominates on Sunday. And Scott Kopp across the line, second. He's emphatic. Barrios is third. Both teams, again, everybody on the fence running the numbers, trying to figure out where the points line up. We believe they're tied. From there, we'll figure it out. We're going to leave it on, and again, we'll run through the rest of your order because the rest of the top 10 earned their place in the limelight as well. Edward Fortier snags a top 5 result. Alex Mueller rebounds from his massive crash yesterday, and the issue in the pre-final today to finish 5th, Connor Hare 6th, and so on and so forth down the order. Good run for, again, Mueller. He was in the outside retaining wall hard over in turn number 2 yesterday, battling for the lead and the win. Ultimately ended up, of course, just a little bit off on the side, which is unfortunate. But as the X30 Masters come to a close, we're starting to get ready, of course, for the X30 Pro Seniors. Beyond your top 6, though, we have Mueller again, P5. Christian Vomier ends in 6th. Frank Runco, 7th. Connor Hare, 8th. My mistake there at the line. Miguel Meyer, 9th. Paul Montepoli, P10. And the X30 Pro Seniors presented by FranklinCart.com. Hayden Jones looking to make a big-time statement here this weekend, put himself a little higher in the championship standings. He'll roll off on the pole. It rolls off next, live here on the EKN Radio Network.
You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Franklin Motorsports, Parolin USA, Trinity Karting Group, and Cooper Tires. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. Now back to the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina, on the EKN Radio Network.
It's showtime for the FranklinKart.com X30 Pro Senior Division. Hayden Jones and Hannah Greenemeyer yesterday were first and third, and the Rollison Performance Group Cosmics make up the front row here today. Connor Zilish, unfortunately, an error yesterday on the racetrack, sidelined him with a DNF. It's taken him from battling for the championship to out of championship contention. He's going straight up for the checkered flag here today. Rolls off P3. To his outside, the provisional champ, Ryan Norberg, poised to take an unprecedented fifth career pro national title in a 6-year span. Behind him, Alessandro De Tullio will roll off to the outside of row number 3, just to the outside of Paulie Massimino. We move back to row number 4. It'll be Ryan Raffa in the Full Tilt Racing Tony Kart and Branyan Tyner in the RPG Cosmic. Will Power in the Will Power Kart MPG Motorsports entry rolls off to the inside of row number 5 with Brandon Jarzakrak in the Mike Doty Racing Cosmic to round off your top 10. Then it's Thomas Neveau in the number 322 Trinity Karting Group Kart Republic, Adam Ali in the REM Cosmic, and the rest of the field. We're on the gas early, and we're green, and everybody's out of line down at turn number 1. Big time jump. The first driver to make up a lot of spots is AJ Myers on the outside lane. They're going to be 2 and 3 abreast up the hill, and they're clean down the back straightaway. Let's see who is gone where. It is a good jump for Jones. Greenemeyer's gone to second. Zilish third. Myers still on the outside. Made up a couple spots already. Good start for Jarzakrak. He's up a couple positions. Will Power got caught sleeping there. So did, I believe, Thomas Neveau, but Power's down to about 15th. But up front here, Greenemeyer, great jump to Hayden Jones. Connor Zilish getting his bumper beat off right now by Ryan Norberg. Norberg going to look inside, final corner. He'll take over third. Zilish back to fourth. DeTullio right there trying to follow. Not able to do it. He stays in line behind right ahead of Paulie Massimino. Then it's Branyan Tyner across the stripe. Behind Tyner, it's Brandon Jarzakrak. Then Ryan Raffa, then AJ Myers. But a single file train led by Hayden Jones here with Hannah Greenemeyer right behind. It was a very exciting opening few laps in the main event yesterday where Ryan Norberg from the pole got shuffled back a good bit, or from third, shuffled deep in the field. And in the end, he ended up charging forward, saved the tires well, but ultimately couldn't do too much. Now, Alessandro De Tullio, big time send on Connor Zilish into turn number 9. Zilish could not get out of the hairpin. De Tullio's like, you know what, I got to go. Norberg now going on Greenemeyer. He'll take over second, and they're battling all around as Ryan Raffa's going to get shuffled to the outside lane. Massimino for fourth. He's by on De Tullio. Everyone trying to find a place in line here. Branyan Tyner's up the order. Jarzakrak is up the order. Big-time loser Connor Zilish has been shuffled back a number of spots already. In fact, he's outside the top 10. Just got buried. He's back behind Jack Jeffers. It is that tight here in the opening few laps. And Ryan Norberg's gone to the lead. Hannah Greenemeyer now to second. Paulie Massimino is charging, though. He looks strong early, closing up to the RPG Cosmics. Can Greenemeyer run down Norberg? All she could do is sit in the wake of Jones yesterday. Massimino looking good early, knows he's got to get up to the RPG, start to work his way forward as Norberg is trying to get away. Good run for Hannah Greenemeyer, though, through turn number 1. She'll close the gap to Norberg down the backstretch. Massimino still right there. Brandon Tyner trying to join the party. He's gone by Alessandro DeTulio. Brandon Jarsakrak on the way forward as well. Up to 7th, digging for more. Then we go back. Thomas Neveau is 8th. Will Power has worked his way back up to 9th after a poor start. Needs a little bit of fighting up in the front to get himself further up the order, but Greenemeyer closing in on Norberg. She might have a shot at the lead. Paulie Massimino, the lone RPM Tony Kart, the only non-RPG driver inside the top 5 as Norberg leads the train down the front straightaway. Good launch to the race here for Norberg. Greenemeyer going to push him through turn number 1. Now, does Hannah Greenemeyer want to stay behind? She knows where she ended up yesterday. P2 waiting too long, and then eventually P3. For now, though, she'll push Norberg to turn 4. Jones along with her. Massimino still right there after sweeping in KA100 Senior. He is trying to get there here in X30 Pro. And a great run through the infield for Paulie Massimino to make up some time. He is driving his tail off at the moment. Alessandro DeTulio throwing a send on Brandon Tyner. It does not pay off. And now he has to block from Brandon Jarsakrak. They lose a little bit of time. Thomas Neveau trying to make some moves early here. He's closing in on that grouping. Will Power trying to get there. AJ Myers is 10th now, ahead of Zilish and Jack Jeffers. Hannah Greenemeyer now gets shuffled back as she's gone through. Now pass for the lead again. Hayden Jones is the new leader. Greenemeyer just went by on Norberg. Jones by on Greenemeyer. Massimino still right there in 4th. Not able to break him up just yet, but Hayden Jones, yesterday's winner, back to the point. Greenemeyer to 2nd. Does Greenemeyer fight in the hairpin? She does not. They all stay in line. Alessandro DeTulio has gotten rid of Brandon Tyner. Brandon Jarsakrak as well as starting to roll. He's gone by the 369 machine. Here comes Thomas Neveau and Will Power. Seems the rest of the field's finally started to catch up just a little bit to the RPG Cosmics as Greenemeyer makes a mistake in the last turn. Norberg, bumper, looking inside. He'll take over 2nd. Doesn't want to let Jones get away. Let's see if Massimino goes on Greenemeyer down the back. He doesn't seem to have the top end speed that the RPGs do. In fact, he dropped a tire that time. Massimino, a little mistake. No, that was Greenemeyer with the mistake. She's sideways. Good save for Greenemeyer. Man, Alessandro DeTulio really getting that Paralyn to go. He is trying hard to dig towards the top 4. Brandon Tyner going to go back on Brandon Jarsakrak. Jarsakrak just not enough speed to get away. Thomas Neveau going to battle him as well. Here comes Will Power into the mix. Jarsakrak inside. Power going to follow. Not able to get there. And on the bumper of Power is Connor Zilish. He has shuffled AJ Myers back to 12th. As up front, Jones still leads over Norberg. You've got to be absolutely perfect here to hang with Ryan Norberg and Hayden Jones around GoPro Motorplex. Jones having so many laps, Norberg having so many laps in the kart in general, along with a ton here at this racetrack. And as we look back further in the field, Will Power has now gone by on Connor Zilish. He's up to the bumper on Jarsakrak, trying to close in, make up some more ground on the WPK machine. Greenemeyer a little bit too deep there into the hairpin. Massimino trying to close back up again here. As Norberg out of turn 9 watches Jones just rip 2 kart lengths on him. But it's still a tightly packed group, and Alessandro DeTulio is praying, just begging for a couple passes because he knows how quick he is. DeTulio in the Paralyn, he's running laps right now that are equaling or at least within half a tenth of the race leader. He can get there. He just needs a few more passes because he's doing those with no draft at all. Brandon Tyner haven't gotten clear. He's not too far off the pace. Let's see what Will Power can do now that he has gone by Thomas Neveau. If he's got the Will Power kart tuned up and ready to roll forward. Neveau back behind him. side by side for 10th. Jack Jeffers under fire. Zilish goes back by. Jarsakrak back to 12th as A.J. Myers passes him. Up at the front, it's starting to tighten up again here coming out of the final corner. Norberg still second. Hayden Jones the leader. 17 laps to go. That time, DeTulio lost a little bit of ground here as they're starting to pick the pace up. Paulie Massimino is also dropping off a little bit from the RPG Cosmics at the front. He's trying to hang on to the RPM Tony kart, just not fully there. Yesterday, Massimino running inside the top 5 blew an engine. Today, it looks to be stronger, but I don't know if it's strong enough here for him to run with the top 3. Meatball fly given here to Leonardo Hassan going into the hairpin. He's going to get pulled off the racetrack as we watch the field come on by. Let's see where the laps fall. Hannah Greenemeyer, 47.467, 2/10 quicker than Massimino, 1/10 quicker than Hayden Jones. Closing in as Norberg does as well towards their RPG teammate. If they fight a little more, it'll bring more drivers back in because Massimino does not have the pace that they do. He's not been able to drop the times as much. Down to a 47.6, about as consistent as can be. Driving as good as he probably ever has. Not really enough right now for the power of the top 3 and how good they're performing because they are on another level as well. Jones consistently 47.4, 47.5, 47.5 again and again and again. 4 for Greenemeyer, sorry, all 5s for Jones. Down the front stretch, though, Norberg's close. Can he make a dive into 1? He's going to go for it. Ryan Norberg to the lead. Hayden Jones back to second. 2 drivers together in the back of the field. That is Brian Boley and 1 more. Can't identify as we see Norberg take the reins through turn number 4. Jones second. Greenemeyer third. Massimino getting a little bit of a second wind as he tries to close up with them bottlenecking behind the 48. DeTulio is going to come under fire from Brandon Tyner pretty soon. That's for the edge of the top 5 as Massimino watches this group of 3 head towards turn number 9. Norberg now at the helm, coming towards the halfway marker. 12 in, 14 to go at the stripe. Ryan Norberg leads the way. Down the front stretch, Jones going to push him into turn number 1. Norberg not as quick that time. Massimino fell off as well, but he didn't lose any time to the top 3. Jones, is he going to go by? He'll push him. Won't go by him just yet. Lets Norberg lead. And that'll allow Massimino to kind of stay at about 3 to 4 kart lengths back. Another pass or 2, he'll get back in the mix. DeTulio, his pace has kind of subsided at a 47.8, 47.9 range, which is not quick enough to run with the leaders, but it is quick enough to keep everybody except for Brandon Tyner at bay. Connor Zilish has gone all the way back up into 8th after a slow start, gone by Will Power, who runs in 9th, Jack Jeffers 10th, A.J. Myers 11th. Brandon Jarsakrak has fallen down the order. He has now been pushed to 14th. Across the line that time, again, the pace is a lot slower right now with Ryan Norberg out front and Hayden Jones trying to push him. It's allowing Paulie Massimino to stay close. 47.799 that time for Norberg, nearly a 47.8. So he's backed the pace up a little bit here with 13 laps to go. And we're 13 in. So a lot of time still for Jones to go by, but Greenemeyer could go by at any time. Massimino's coming back into it. In fact, Paulie Massimino closing up now here as they go for turn number 9. They definitely wore the tires out trying to gap the field, and it's made it a 4-driver breakaway. Norberg, Jones, Greenemeyer, Massimino out of the final corner. Down the front straightaway, 12 laps to go. Jones back to the lead in turn number 1. He noticed the time starting to slow down as well, wants to pick the pace back up, goes back to the lead. Norberg back to second. Greenemeyer still there in third, watching the battle. Paulie Massimino closes up through the bowl, does everything he can to make up the lack of straight line he's got with the infield section. He is really looking strong through the middle of the bowl and through the hairpin. Got a lot of bottom end power, it looks like, on the RPM Tony kart. You can see how good he rolls the hairpin, closes up. The mid-range, that's where that starts to lack as they go from turn the kink into turn number 9. And out of 9 towards the short chute into the final corner. But Massimino's close. Maybe not the pace to win, but the pace to fight for it. and a good fight could give him a chance. 11 to go this time, 15 complete. If Massimino is able to get ahead of maybe of Greenemeyer, he might be able to get Greenemeyer to push him. I don't know if he's got enough to fight for it, but Greenemeyer, again, I mentioned yesterday, she just kind of waited in the wake of Jones. Unfortunately, it ended up being a little bit too late. She wasn't able to seem to find a way by, or maybe opted a little bit too late to wait to go by. And right now, she's not been close enough really to fight Norberg or Jones, kind of in a similar spot to Massimino. But again, in the same way, if Massimino could get Greenemeyer to push him, maybe if Greenemeyer gets ahead of Norberg or Jones, she could have them push her to the front of the other one. But she's got to get there first. 2 kart lengths right now, the cushion between all of the top 4, coming to see 10 to go at the line. Problems for one driver here on the outside of turn number 7. Not sure who we've got off the racetrack. It's one of the OTK entries for sure. Back beyond your top 4. Oh, we got problems for another one. This is a front runner. This was Hayden Jones. Hayden Jones with a mechanical failure in turn number 3 out of the lead. Hayden Jones is gone, and his head is down. You can tell how deflated he was. Hayden Jones from the lead has a parts failure. I don't know if it's a blown chain or a blown motor, but he is out in the runoff in turn number 3. Ryan Norberg is your new leader. Now he's going to dig to try and pull the gap away from his RPG teammate and Hannah Greenemeyer and the RPM Tony Kart of Paulie Massimino. Brandon Tyner's trying to close as well. He's up 3 spots, 2.5 seconds back from Massimino. Now Norberg's main focus is keeping Hannah Greenemeyer at bay, because if she gets by him, then she might be in the money, and she's right there. Look at how close Greenemeyer closed up down the backstretch. Half a kart length back. Greenemeyer is back in the fight. With Jones no longer towing the way, the pace, the wind is all broken by the 348, and Greenemeyer can get a little bit closer. So can Hannah Greenemeyer play spoiler? Can she get ahead of Ryan Norberg and cheat him out of a win on his championship day, on the crowning of his 5th national title? Up the hill to 11 here. Norberg only a kart length up. This time by here, 8 laps to go for Norberg. Greenemeyer was a 1/10 of a second faster last time by. She's right there, headed down the backstretch. She is so close. Can she go for it? Down to turn 4. Hannah Greenemeyer to the lead, into the bowl. Hannah Greenemeyer takes over the top spot with 7.5 laps to go. And here we go. We've got a fight on our hands again. 3-driver pack in X30 Pro. Greenemeyer, Norberg, Massimino. They are using all the runoff now in turn 6. The barriers have been blown out with a wreck behind them in the back of the field. The new order beyond your top 3 has Brandon Tyner 4th, Alessandro DeTulio 5th, Connor Zilish 6th, Will Powers 7th, Jack Jeffers 8th, AJ Myers is 9th, 10th, Dante Yu, who has been kind of cutting his way up the order. With 7 laps to go, Hannah Greenemeyer looking for a maiden U.S. Pro Kart Series victory. Her 3rd career Pro National win, her 2nd on the year. Looking through turn number 4. No change in position. Norberg willing to follow. Massimino just kind of hanging there 2 kart lengths back, hoping for something to happen between the teammates. Out of turn number 8. Greenemeyer picking the pace up. Massimino starting to fade a little bit. Lost a little more ground that time out of the hairpin. Up to 4 car lengths. Norberg knows that he's going to try and push Greenemeyer. Make sure it's a 2-car fight, I'd imagine, as they come out of the final corner here down the front stretch. Norberg, bumper, stays there. Pushes Greenemeyer to 1. Hoping that Hannah Greenemeyer can keep pulling him away from Paulie Massimino. Make it only 2 drivers in the fight. Massimino digging with everything he's got to hang on to these 2. And Norberg, a little shot mid-corner, kind of messed Greenemeyer up. That'll pull Massimino back closer. It'll be 5 to go this time by. Greenemeyer, Norberg, Massimino into turn number 8. 2 kart lengths, maybe 3 apart as they come out of the hairpin. Out of turn number 9 here and up the hill to 11. Hannah Greenemeyer trying to hang on, trying to secure the final win of the U.S. Pro Kart Series season in X30 Pro over the 4-time champ, soon to be 5-time champ Ryan Norberg. Back to Brandon Tyner. He's got Alessandro DeTulio at bay. Connor Zilish still leads Will Power and Jack Jeffers through turns 1 and 2. This 26-lap final going to come all the way down to the final 4. 4.5 laps to go here as they come out of turn number 4 into 5 and 6. Norberg still there on Greenemeyer. He is not letting her get away. She's doing everything she can. Norberg trying to outsmart his teammate. Hannah Greenemeyer has had a couple battles with Norberg this year. She has not been able to come out on top in them yet. Her win over at Utah Motorsports Campus was against her teammate Branyan Tyner when Norberg had wrecked earlier in the day. This would be, I'm sure, a huge boost of confidence to the driver who has been instrumental in coaching her in the last 2 seasons on the X30 Pro division. With now 4 laps to go, the gap back to Massimino as big as it's been all race. 5 car lengths at the most. Norberg trying to continue to shove her away through the bowl. Massimino 3 kart lengths away, nearly 4. He'll wait probably till at least 2 to go, maybe till the final lap to try and make a move on Greenemeyer. They've got to worry about their tires as well. Like, you burn your tires up a little more with the touch of understeer that you get running behind a driver. And Norberg's very mindful of that, a very cautious and thoughtful driver. And Greenemeyer now able to pull away. A little mistake from Norberg. 3 to go. The gap up to 3 car lengths. Massimino trying everything he can to get there through turn number 1. Up the hill to turn number 2. 3 laps remaining here in the X30 Pro season. The double sticks will come next time. Greenemeyer sees Norberg, hears him, doesn't have the momentum to get by her, so he'll stay behind. Massimino closing back up once again through 5 and 6. Great run through there. Better run through the infield. He's going all the way to the dirt. Every inch of racetrack, Paulie Massimino trying with all he's got to close in. Out of turn 9. Final time up the hill here. Greenemeyer going to come to see the 2 to go signal. Can she pull it off? She almost got the win here a year ago over Brandon Jarczyk. Now she's got to fend off Norberg for it. Massimino still close. Norberg noticed. He took a look over his shoulder down the front stretch. Massimino's closing back up again. And Greenemeyer's actually got some breathing room down the back straight. Norberg not close enough to get there even if he wanted to. Massimino now down to 2 kart lengths away. A lap and a half to go. Through turn number 6 here, Norberg looking decent. He's a kart length away. Does he send it? Not this time. Greenemeyer takes the normal line. Norberg trying to close. Massimino trying to get there. He's hoping for them to get together on the final lap. That'll give him an opportunity. Norberg cannot seem to get out of the double right-hander here late in the going. Greenemeyer pulled him by 3 car lengths out of the final turn. Norberg's got to dig deep. So does Greenemeyer. 3 drivers to decide the final race of the season in X30 Pro as they climb the hill. Norberg's going to have a shot at her down the backstretch. She knows it. She'll take a look back. Sees the gaps there. She covers the bottom. Norberg to the top side. Here comes Massimino. He'll close in. Out of turn number 4. Greenemeyer holds. Norberg still there. Massimino will close up in the infield. He gets through 6 decent. A kart length back. It's going to force Norberg to make a decision. Does he open up? He covers the bottom. Follows Greenemeyer. Massimino right to the bumper. Pushes him. There's still nose to tail the 9. Norberg's going to block for second. Massimino inside gets by for second. And Hannah Greenemeyer. The gap is big enough. It's going to be more than enough. HG Hannah Greenemeyer wins the season finale at X30 Pro. Paulie Massimino finishes second. Ryan Norberg finishes third. He was trying to defend to give himself the overall for the money because he knew that mattered a good bit. $5,000 is what you saw that move of him blocking for second. He ended up paying for it anyway as Massimino got by. And with Massimino third, Greenemeyer or second, Norberg third, Greenemeyer winning, it flips the order from yesterday, goes to a tiebreaker for the $5,000. That was a $2,500 payday difference you saw between Norberg making that block successful and not. And Hannah Greenemeyer, all the hats off in the World Tour. She completes the RPG sweep of the wins on the weekend. Massimino got darn close there throughout the entirety, put the pressure on, almost there at the end, just needed a little bit more oomph to get there, but Hannah Greenemeyer collects her second National Pro win on the season, boosts herself up on the weekend overall. Big congrats and kudos to the Denver, Colorado native. We'll take one more commercial break here after we run you through the top 10 because it did change a little bit in the final stages. Greenemeyer, Massimino, and Norberg, the top three. DeTulio ends up fourth over Brandon Tyner, who finished fifth. Will Power finally able to get a clean run in all the way up through the order in sixth. Jack Jeffers seventh. A.J. Myers eighth. Nate Cicero ninth. Dante Yu 10th. Connor Zilish had something happen there in the final two laps, dropped all the way down to 13th. I missed what happened to the 372 as we focused on the leaders, and definitely an issue for Brandon Jarskrek as well as he got booted down to 18th. But Dante Yu rounds your top 10. That rounds off the season for X30 Pro, presented by FranklinCart.com. One more class to come. It's the Mini Swifts before we wrap up our on-track action for the 2021 U.S. Pro Kart Series season. Again, one final is all that's left, and it's coming up right after this. Stick with us. You're listening to the U.S. Pro Kart Series on the EKN Radio Network.
You're listening to turn-by-turn coverage of the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. This weekend's broadcast is brought to you by Franklin Motorsports, Parolin USA, Trinity Karting Group, and Cooper Tires. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklincart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklincart.com. In Colorado, the place to go for karts and parts and everything else you need to go racing is Forward Direction Motorsports. It's Colorado's premier karting company. Owned and operated by veteran karter Greg Welch, Forward Direction Motorsports is located in Centennial, Colorado. FDM has been developed to provide customer service and product sales at all levels and in both in-person and online. We're a brick and mortar shop that serves as the hub for karting in Colorado, and we're a gateway to new racers who can come in and learn about the sport. We also have an online store and can ship all over the country. We can also service all makes and models of engines and karts. Whatever you race, we can take care of you. Forward Direction Motorsports is a comp kart dealer, an authorized Rotax service center, and we can fully support all Briggs 206 racers. We support local karting 100%, and we also have a race team that takes our customers to major regional and national events on the West Coast. From kart prep and coaching to full arrive and drive packages, we offer something for everyone. You don't have to live in Colorado to experience Full Direction Motorsports' vast experience or dedication to customer service. Our online store continues to expand its inventory, and the products you need are just a mouse click away. Head to fdmkarting.com the next time you need parts and equipment fast. We ship daily. Shop online or come to the store to check out our inventory and visit our service department. Head to fdmkarting.com to learn more about our products and services, or call us direct at 720-323-3650. It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years, and Parolin's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolin has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. Now back to the 2021 United States Pro Kart Series finale, live from the Cooper Tire Broadcast Center at the GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina, on the EKN Radio Network.
Welcome back here to GoPro Motorplex. The final race of the 2021 U.S. Pro Kart Series season is upon us. It's time to go racing in the Mini Swift class. Enzo Vidmontien locked up the championship long ago, but Oscar Iliff is trying to make today equally about himself because he won the pre-final, qualified on the pole in a great last lap, last corner move to edge out Oliver Weldon at the line. Diego Ardiles rolls off third. Vivek Canthan fourth. Carter McMurray and Max Christie roll off on row number 3. Row 4 is going to find the number 124 of Samuel Newell and the 102 Speed Concepts Racing Red Speed of Sebastian Santana. Isaac Malcutt and the AKT Racing Team Kart Republic rolls off 9th. Davin Roberts in the Nitro Kart number 103 rolls off P10. Kai Johnson's up at 10, made up 10 spots in the pre-final. Drove up from 21st to 11th, and he rolls off to the inside of Diego Guillo. Wesley Gunler in the 194th rolls off P13 to the inside of Enzo Vidmontien, who faded a good bit there after the spin. Tried to rebound, only could get up to the outside of row 7. Asher Oxtine and Salvador de la Vecchia, row 8. Carson Weinberg, Hudson Schwartz, Sarah Bradley, Gavin Witt. Your top 20, as we will not get the green on the first time by. Moving beyond the first 10 rows, row 11 is going to see Braden Zerbs and Asen Dromalev for 21st and 22nd. Starting 23rd will be Cole Wilson to his outside. Tyler Roberts in the number 199 Parolin, who had a rough pre-final. Keep an eye on Roberts to make up a lot of spots here in this main event. Alexander Jacoby and David Ramirez roll off on row 13. Gian Buffamonte and Victor De Alencar on row 14. Austin Warner, Jackson Woolney, and Cade Yeager make up the 31 drivers initially there. We've still got plenty more there to line up as it's a 39-driver field with Greg Heyman Jr., Felipe Jesus Bonito, James Newell, Fionn Shee, Beckham Tupakov, Cash Perkins, and Alexander Vanchev rolls off shotgun on the field in the 106. Again, final race of the weekend, final race of the season. It's been an amazing season here for the U.S. Pro Kart Series, a record-breaking season, record-breaking numbers at every single venue we visited. Have not gone bigger until we went to 2021, and we can't wait to see what 2022 entails. But for now, we've got one more race to close out the year. 20 laps on the boards. Mini Swift is green down to turn number 1. It's a good jump for Oscar Iliff this time. He gets through to the lead, and they will slowly make their way up the hill to turn 3 and get up to full song as they rocket down the back straightaway. Good jump for Iliff down to turn number 4 as they go on through. They were side by side for 4th. They're on by, I believe. One of the comp carts was able to work his way on through. That might be Carter McMurray slipping back to 5th as they head into turn number 8 for the first time. Good start for Oscar Iliff. Vivek Canthan right behind him in 2nd. Oliver Weldon is 3rd. Diego Ardiles 4th was the driver getting by on Carter McMurray for 5th. No, that's not Canthan in 2nd. That is, that is indeed Vivek Canthan in 2nd. Might be Sebastian Santana up the order into 7th. I'm trying to see. Canthan definitely P2, although he's going to come under pressure. Black flag coming. One driver black flagged off the racetrack. The 116 machine was not meant to hit on out to the circuit. Unfortunately, missed on the 90-second clock. So Salvador de la Vecchia getting a black flag here as they came across the start-finish line. Back up front, Oscar Iliff leads as Oliver Weldon and Diego Ardiles have shuffled Vivek Canthan back to 4th. We go back further. Carter McMurray still there in the 5th spot. Max Christie, best start of the weekend for the 139. He's up into 6th. James Newell up into 7th. No, Samuel Newell up into 7th on the Kart Republic, the privateer. Just ahead of a couple more. We'll try to identify as they come across. It should be Sebastian Santana and Wesley Gunler as we see Canthan passing Diego Ardiles in the final corner. Carter McMurray trying to get by. Black flag coming out again, this time for Salvador de la Vecchia. As the field heads towards turn number 4, Iliff's lead starting to evaporate just ever so slightly over Oliver Weldon, and he's starting to close on in. Headed into turns 5 and 6. Canthan still in 3rd, having gotten by Diego Ardiles. Carter McMurray's by. We had a couple drivers go off in turn number 2. That's deep in the field, though. Enzo Vidmontien trying to work his way forward, following one of the Nitro Kart drivers on through. I think that was Sarah Bradley he followed. Now passes both as he gets by on Salvador de la Vecchia, who has yet to pull off the racetrack for the black flag in the 116. There he goes, the 116 into the scale line. Oliver Weldon, oh, big contact on the front straightaway. A number of drivers tagged the barrier in the final corner. That was about 7th to 11th, if I had to guess, coming across the line. They got into the outside plastic barriers. Up front, it is still Oscar Iliff leading the way. Oliver Weldon 2nd, Canthan in 3rd. Ardiles back to 4th ahead of Carter McMurray. Side by side, just inside the top 10. Enzo Vidmontien will get down the inside and get clear on Sebastian Santana. Locks onto Wesley Gunler now. Gunler trailing just behind another one of the comp card entries. That is Diego Guillo, maybe? I'm not sure. We'll identify when they come across. Oscar Iliff leads again, though. Oliver Weldon 2nd. Canthan, Ardiles, McMurray, Christie, Newell. It's the 149. That's Asher Ockstein. Up 7 spots. This kid is the king on cold tires. I swear the Mini Swift class has seen Asher Ockstein come from the mid-teens to the front almost every race session here this weekend. And the J3 competition comp cart under fire, though, from Enzo Vidmontien, who's on an equal charge through the order and up the order. Up into 8th now for Ockstein. 8th for Vidmontien, 9th for Ockstein. But Oscar Iliff leads Oliver Weldon headed to turn number 9. Vivek Canthan 2 to 3 kart lengths away from Weldon. Another 4 to 5 car lengths back finds Carter McMurray. Diego Ardiles right behind him. They'll come to complete another one. 15 laps to go as Oscar Iliff leads. And he has led from the start, trying to rewrite the story of this weekend. On Friday night, his brother Jack broke his wrist. A small fracture took him out of contention. Oscar yesterday was running up front after a poor qualifying incident, then had a spark plug failure on the outlap. Now today, qualifies on the pole, wins the pre-final, and is leading the final here just ahead of JC Karting's Oliver Weldon, who has pushed him so far. The barriers have been knocked all sideways here throughout the first few laps of this main event. The last corner's gotten hit. Turn 6 has been hit so much, they have not even replaced it. They've let them use the runoff. So now Iliff leads them out of turn number 9 with a little bit quicker lap times than where they've been running most of the weekend. Weldon behind, Canthan in 3rd. Fastest on the racetrack was Carter McMurray last time by. As he's trying to close up to the top 3, he's going to get a little closer this time. 2 karts back from the Paralympic of Canthan. So for the second lap in a row, Carter McMurray is the quickest driver on the racetrack, working with his father Jamie out of their garage on the backside of the facility. Really cool father-son duo. Of course, Jamie McMurray, now NASCAR analyst, former NASCAR Cup Series driver, and Daytona 500 champion, Brickyard 400 champion. Giving his son Carter a little bit of advice, of course, throughout the weekend as he's worked with him methodically and really made some steady improvements, especially if you compare where Carter McMurray was at the IAMA USA Grand National Championship here just a couple months ago to where he's running right now with a bigger field, on a similar stage in the exact same tire compound and engine package inside the top 5 all weekend is where we've seen the number 140. Now he's going for third, almost, on Canthan, not going to get it done. 7 laps complete, 13 laps to go. Oscar Iliff, Oliver Weldon, still the top 2. It's a loosely packed group of 6 up front, dating all the way back to Max Christie. Sam Newell had a good run there, but Enzo Vidmontien has reeled him in, caught him, passed him, and is now in 7th. Vidmontien up 7 positions, trying to dig for more. Tyler Roberts, I said keep your eye on the 199. He's up 12 positions from the back of the grid. Big time run here for Tyler Roberts in the making. Very impressive stuff from the Parolin driver. As we come out of the final sector here, 12 laps to go this time by. Oscar Iliff commands the train of 6. Oliver Weldon, Vivek Canthan, Carter McMurray, Diego Ardiles, Max Christie down to turn 1. As they come out of turn number 9 here, Oscar Iliff showing the way over Oliver Weldon. Carter McMurray, 3rd. Diego Ardiles, 4th. 5th on the racetrack, Vivek Canthan. 6th, Max Christie down the start-finish line straight, no change. 11 laps to go. The 20-lap final for the Mini Swifts about to be halfway done. 10 down, 10 to go next time by. Still all Oscar Iliff out front as Weldon continues to push him. Not wanting to really rock the boat too much and pass him. And if they do, it'll open the door for Enzo Vidmontien to get there. He's trying to dig forward. Currently holds the fastest lap of the session and is driving his tail off to get to the top 6. McMurray now going to come under fire for 3rd. Here comes Ardiles inside, clear. So does Canthan. So does Max Christie, but he won't get clear. Christie stays in 6th. McMurray drops to P5. Cross flags coming this time by. Update here in the paddock. There is a black Ford pickup truck with Maryland license plates that is parked at the top of the paddock. Needs to be moved so some of the teams can get out. Again, there is a black Ford pickup truck with Maryland plates that needs to be moved, parked inside the paddock. Eight laps to go this time by in the Trinity Karting Group Mini Swift class. Oscar Iliff getting pushed away by Oliver Weldon as they battled for 3rd behind them. And they'll battle again with Ardiles sending it down the inside of Vivek Canthan. It's allowed the top 2 to get away. Now Canthan throwing some blocks at Carter McMurray. A little bit dancing the line on blocking there with Canthan. He's got to be careful, especially with a swerving penalty. That could be even worse because McMurray was all the way down on the inside and even Canthan drove him down to the grass to get himself back clear again. But nonetheless, the position stayed the same. McMurray did end up getting by Canthan potentially. Either he's that. No, he's got Max Christie still in line behind him. That's the smaller driver. It's tough as the sun goes down. They become more shadow-like. Pass for 6th. Christie gets shuffled back behind Enzo Vidmontien. He has reeled in this group. Can Vidmontien come all the way through the order to get to the top 2? He still needs a little more help than that. 7 laps to go this time by. Oscar Iliff, Oliver Weldon continue to lead. For our X30 Pro Junior and X30 Pro Senior drivers, remember you have to stay at the podium to get the money. Aiden Ingrata, Caleb Gaffera, Jeremy Fletcher, please make sure you're staying for the podium presentations and hopefully the championship banquet for Ingrata and Fletcher. And Alessandro D'Attulio, Ryan Norberg, Hannah Greenemeyer, please wait for the money podium here today. Five laps to go now. Vidmontien's carved up a couple more. Gotten by McMurray. Gotten by Canthan. He's on the bumper now of Diego Ardiles. He's a couple seconds back from the lead. To be exact, they are 1.2 seconds off the leaders. Not really that far when you really think about it, especially if Weldon would make one single move on Iliff. Vidmontien going to go for 3rd. He's onto the box. Enzo Vidmontien up 11 positions from his starting spot. We need some rental transponders picked up. Beckham Jasir, Paulie Massimino, Santiago Benito, Cade Downs, Mike McAndrews, Edward Fortier, Alex Mueller, Michael Millardi, Cooper O'Clair. We need rental transponders returned. Again, Cooper O'Clair, Michael Millardi, Mike McAndrews, Edward Fortier, Alex Mueller, Beckham Jasir, Paulie Massimino, Santiago Benito, Cade Downs. We need to return your rental transponders. 4 laps to go. Enzo Vidmontien willing his way to the front. That time by 4/10 quicker than the race leaders. He's knocked it down to 9/10 of a second, and he's coming for more, trying to get help from behind with Diego Ardiles. Oliver Weldon trying to push Oscar Iliff. He's done a great job all race long, making it a 2-car fight for the end. Iliff's actually starting to pull away a little bit through the infield now. That's not what they need, though, because Vidmontien will start to get a sniff of Weldon's draft. And there are more coming with Enzo Vidmontien. He is not alone. Diego Ardiles helping push him forward. Vivek Canthan is on the way. All this coming as they climb the hill for the another time. We're coming to see 3 to go this time by. Couple other drivers with rental transponders. Alex Noiz, Aiden Hatcher, Alex Doncho, Dalton Haynes, Yuli Fang. Please return rental transponders. Yuli Fang, Aiden Hatcher, Alex Noiz, Alex Doncho, Dalton Haynes. Two and a half laps to go here in Mini Swift. Oscar Iliff, Oliver Weldon, they have company. Enzo Vidmontien has arrived. What an incredible drive for the Penick driver, Enzo Vidmontien. The Mini Swift class champion, just going for gold, going for broke here on Sunday. He's clinched the title. Doesn't need to go anymore. Doesn't even need to run today. But he's a racer. He wants the checkered flag. He knows how close he is. The double sticks will come. He's going to get to second with 2 laps to go as Oscar Iliff is leading, trying to hang on for his first career national win as Vivek Kanthan not able to get by Oliver Weldon that time. Oscar Iliff's got to be careful. Here comes Vidmontienne into the bumper. Big run. Iliff knows it. Covers off the inside just enough. Vidmontienne cannot get by. Enzo Vidmontienne is a smart race car driver. He's made a lot of improvements, a lot of good runs through the time that he has went towards the mini championship. Iliff going to block the bottom. No, he'll get hit a little bit by Vidmontienne into the corner. Stays in line. Vidmontienne not close enough for a move. Shoves him wide into 9. He's trying to get on the inside. A bump and run from Vidmontienne. Muscles Iliff to the outside. Weldon down the bottom. Oliver Weldon to the lead. Diego Ardiles to second. Iliff trying to cross over somebody. He's going to fourth. Got punted out of the way, out of the lead. Vivek Kanthan driving him down to the grass. That was dirty that time. I can't even defend that one. As we go back up the hill, 3 drivers, all 1, 2, 3. Oliver Weldon, Diego Ardiles, Enzo Vidmontienne. Down the back here, final time. Weldon blocks the bottom. Ardiles second. Vidmontienne in third. As they go to turns 5 and 6 here, Oscar Iliff continues to close up through to turn 7, over to turn number 8. Oliver Weldon, normal line. Look at Ardiles. What a send down the inside. Caught Oliver Weldon sleeping. Now Ardiles blocks into 9. Weldon hits him. Knocks him wide. They're all wide. Here comes Kanthan. Here comes Iliff. Iliff, they're all nose to tail. Ardiles just has to block one more corner. Goes to the bottom. Weldon shoved to the outside. Kanthan the inside. Down the start-finish line. Diego Ardiles sweeps at Mooresville. Oliver Weldon finishes second. Enzo Vidmontienne third. Oscar Iliff fourth. And Vivek Kanthan rounds the top 5. Carter McMurray ends in 6th. Max Christie 7th. Asher Ockstein ends in 8th. Tyler Roberts, 15 spots gained to get to the top 10. Ends in 9th. Wesley Gunler rounds the top 10. Folks, what a good race. What a battle to the end here to end the championship in the Mini Swift class. Enzo Vidmontienne caps off his season with a podium. That wraps up the on-track action for the U.S. Pro Kart Series and EKN's coverage of the event. We've got race day podiums coming up in about 40 minutes. Once second protest clear, so that's going to put our race day podiums at about 5:40 p.m. After our race day podiums at 6 p.m., we'll have our championship banquet. So again, race day podiums at 5:40, our championship banquet in the GoPro Motorplex Hospitality Suite at 6 p.m. All that coming up next here, folks. Again, live from GoPro Motorplex, this has been your coverage from eKartingNews.com. The EKN Radio Network's coverage of the U.S. Pro Kart Series season comes to a close. We'll see you in Orlando in March in 2022. For David Cole, EKN's managing editor, for everyone here at the U.S. Pro Kart Series, and for myself, Xander Clements, it has been a pleasure to call the action all weekend long. We want to wish you a happy off-season. Of course, the EKN Trackside Live Tour rolls on to Las Vegas here in just a little bit of time. But for the U.S. Pro Kart Series, we're done for this year, and we want to thank you for signing on, listening, and wish you farewell.
Thank you for joining us from GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. Our EKN Trackside Live coverage, audio production, and social media was managed by David Cole. Today's broadcast commentary was provided by Tim Coyan. Big thank you to our broadcast partners this weekend: Franklin Motorsports, Trinity Karting Group, Parolin USA, and Team Cooper Tire. This EKN Live broadcast is copyrighted by eKartingNews.com and the Howden Media Group. This is Rob Howden, and thank you for tuning in this weekend and throughout the entire 2021 season.